What up? 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 What's going on? Welcome back. Do me a favor as you're coming in, make sure you hit the like, share, and subscribe button. We have a fantastic show today. I have a lot of stuff to cover today. Of course, we have the topic, right? Nigerians abroad. Nigerians in Yankee, Nigerians in UK. We're going to talk today. I got some tips to share, but we're also going to talk. As a matter of fact, let me see here. There may be something I'm missing out here. Let me make sure. Okay. Let me blow it up because we're going to need to blow this up. Yep. All right, good. Got a couple of stories that I copied from the emails that I'm going to bring up. Emails, comments, some forums, some example stories that we're going to talk about today. If you can hear me clearly, please let me know in the chat. Just let me know in the chat that you can hear me. Welcome back. Welcome back. Ladies and men of prestige, the prestige family, welcome. On a day. Let me turn this down so I can make sure you guys can hear me clearly. Kamalamashi Sereroji, you get me? You get me? What's going on? What's going on? So today we're going to cover some important stuff around this topic, of course. All right. This particular topic right here. Wife he took from Nigeria to the US wants a divorce. How many times have you heard this story? How many times have you known a person personally that have lost their family just because they wanted to enjoy some greener pastures, right? That's their story, right? That's their story. But we're going to find out if that's all it is or there's more to it today, all right? You can hear me clearly. Oshe Emmanuel, thank you so much. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for saying something. I appreciate you. Yes, we're talking about how some people just travel and they end up in the divorce court. They end up losing their family. That's what we're talking about mainly today. Well, after we cover that, I want to dive into some manosphere red pill nonsense. I don't like to talk about this kind of stuff, but I see that it's affecting the family structure, so I have the urge to say something. And I've got a few clips here and there that I need to touch on. Ladies, if you're advocating for men, I have a word for you today. Okay? You know, Ore Niwon, Yoruba people say Ore Niwon. See, what that means, I'm going to try to translate that. What that means is that when you're trying to when you're trying to offer help, right, for other people, if you're trying to offer what's ore, if you're trying to do good, you have to measure it and you have to understand that there's limits to the goodness of your good. As much as it looks good on the surface, it's not always the outcome we're looking for. If you're wondering what kind of background I'm at, right? I mean, I'm traveling. Okay, pardon me. I'm traveling. I'm in a hotel lobby here. It's a little quiet. We're gonna make it do what it do. Okay, and the of course the internet's a little stronger here, but I didn't want to leave us hanging. Today is the 37th Prestige Hour. So do me a favor, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't done so, and share this video. Grab the link to this video and send it to 3 people. Because you know I'm not just going to talk about the terrible stories. With your help, I'm going to try to extract some lessons out of them, right? Is it the end of the road? Can you bring your wife from Niger to Yankee? Can you bring your wife from Niger to Jand? Right? We're getting some really terrible situations, right? We're getting some really bad news. It's getting bad for some people. There's something about Texas, right? In fact, some people end up self-deleting or deleting some members of their family because things got really bad between them, or because they decided they wanted to enjoy some greener pastures. You know? You back? Yeah. Alright, good. Yeah. Huh? You said what? Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. She didn't see me though. She couldn't. Yeah. You feel me? So, anyway, we're gonna talk about this today. It's gonna be fun talking about this today. Let me see. Brother Ade, good to see you, sir. Good to see you. Joining you on my iPad and glad to see you again. Good to see you. You know, if not because I was rushing off of Auntie B's platform today, I was about to accuse her. Listen, I don't see you. I need to see you here more, right? But thank you for stopping by today. So it's like you were reading my mind. So let's talk about this. Without any further ado, I think we should just go ahead and get started, shall we? Shall we get started? Let me play the intro music. Let's get to it. All right, welcome back. Let's get back to the grind of things. I got a couple of things I wanted to cover today. Also, I'm going to react to that's a video from the crew at I think they call them Your Views on TVC in Nigeria. Right? We're gonna react to that video as well. If you can hear me clearly, please do let me know. Seeing that, let's see. If you can hear me clearly, let me know. Okay. All right, awesome. I think you guys can hear me. That's awesome. Just want to make sure. Now let me do a quick shout out. Shout out to Uchenna. Good to see you, Uchenna. Good to see you, D Love. And good to see you, brother Day again, Michael Damaged Fruits. Good to see you, Manuel. Good to see you. And we had D'Souza was here earlier saying, please hit that like button. I think she's still here somewhere. Not sure. But thank you so much for your help always, D'Souza. All right. And then we have somebody's just trying to come into the studio. I can't see you. You're not connected. But let's just go ahead and get to the gist of today. Okay. The first video I want to play for you is this video right here. Let's get to it.
Men should be marrying women abroad and not. Let's talk about Nigerian women abroad. Because the other day Rita by Fred said men should be marrying women abroad and not going to Africa to bring women. And the women you bring from Africa, really, they are messing up things for innocent women that will get married.
All right. So let's stop already, right? Innocent women. We have some people called innocent women, right? Good to see you, bro, Patrick. Good to see you. Who are these innocent women? Do they even exist, right? Let me tell you something. In certain respect, some women are better than others. You're right. You are right. Okay? You're absolutely correct. Let me get my sound effects ready because we're probably going to need a lot of it today, right? If you're saying some women are better than the others.
Well, you're right.
You're right. But when we're talking about relationships and marriage, in another respect entirely, in another context entirely, I have to tell you that women are women. Okay? Listen, as far as a good woman and a bad woman, I'm going to guess that hopefully you know what the hell you're doing and you know to not attract a bad woman. If you're attracting the bad woman, guess whose fault? If we have to say it's fault, you. Okay, all right, let me slow down. If you've done that a few times, like 2 or 3 times, you notice that the women you're getting with are just bad people. If we have to use the word fault, it's your fault. But I would advocate to let's avoid the word fault. All right? So that we don't stop ourselves from learning the required lessons. When you say something is somebody's fault, you're basically shutting down the conversation. There's no need for further conversations. It's over. It's someone's fault. After all, just get rid of the person. But we know, you and I know, right?
Stop the cap.
You and I know that you're not willing to get rid of this person that soon. Why? Because you're getting some sort of value. Usually it's not tangible value. It could be emotional. It could be you're addicted to bad, toxic people. Right? It's usually something not as tangible as that person is right or that person is wrong. It's usually something much more, what do we call it? Complicated. So when you say, let's blame that person, you're just attempting to shut down the conversation and effectively blocking out the necessary lessons in your bad past situations. Okay? And when you say it's somebody's fault, what else is there to say? You already blamed it on somebody else, right? Then obviously when you blame it on somebody, say somebody's fault, what's the next step? Let's shame that person until they stop. Okay, you can get rid of that person. But remember, it's you that you keep attracting this situation. Guess what you're going to do? There's 7 billion people in the world. You're going to keep attracting that same energy. There's a reason why you keep creating the same outcomes and results, right? So I wanted to, let's process that first of all. We'll get too far. Some women are innocent and somehow the ones that they go to Nigeria to marry are the bad people. Let's keep going. Listen, am I bad? Okay, there are some bad people that are being married out of Nigeria. And you know what?
Oh, you're right.
You're right. They should change their behavior. Okay? But again, does that change your situation if you keep attracting the same type of people? See, every time you approach romantic matters, relationship related matters, from that standpoint of right and wrong, you're shooting yourself on the legs. No, it's actually worse when you do it in the name of we gotta hold people accountable. It's actually worse because somehow you've justified. Let's just call out the right, the wrong. Let's just call it out. You're justifying bullshit. And guess what? You're still right. But I guarantee you, you're going to create wrong outcomes. And that's going to be a matter of time before we find out. And I'm very, very patient. I'm as patient as you are. Okay? But hopefully you're listening to me and you're like, that's true. I've never held self accountable. Okay, I know that person is a bad person. I feel how I feel about that person. They're just a terrible person, blah, blah, blah. But what about me? See, you know how to say what about me in the wrong moments. This is a good moment to say, what about me? What did I do to keep attracting the same outcome? Okay, some of you are going to be like, okay, I haven't repeated it twice. No, don't wait until you repeat that same issue twice or 3 times. On the first time, make sure you are assessing situations and make sure it's not something that you're doing to create your outcome or that created that one outcome. Do you need to create the same outcome twice? What if we're talking about divorce? You need to divorce twice before you say, you know what, maybe I should disengage from all this energy I put into calling out whose fault is what. Let's keep going.
To men that are living abroad, because now men that are living abroad are scared of even coming to Africa to get married and bringing the woman from Africa to abroad.
They're not scared. They keep coming. You know why? Because it's different people that keep coming. Like that. Another man is turning 24, 25, 31, 32, 41, and coming to Nigeria to make the same mistakes over, right? You know what they're doing? They go to Africa because they sucked at attracting a good behaved young lady here. They come there because what are they doing? They're looking for quick answers just as much as everybody else. Just like everyone else. Just like the person that's trying to blame something on somebody. Just like the person that's blaming all the girls in Africa. They say, you know what? Just go and get some girl in the village. If you get a girl in the village, suddenly she'll be more feminine. She'll be more submissive, right? And guess what happens? They chop breakfast as usual. Because it's your shadow. It follows you everywhere you go. The only difference is how the story is being told. Maybe your ear is going to take a little bit longer. Maybe shorter. Right? If you're lucky enough, right? Let's keep going.
But the ones that are residents there are so disrespectful. I'm telling you the truth. I schooled abroad. I am telling you the truth. Because the thing is, as soon as we get to...
Let me rewind. You notice that gentleman right next to her, to Yoyime. He's happy about what she's saying. This is what we're going to talk about, all of this, right? Women that advocate for men. Right? She's advocating for men. Right? On the surface, what does that look like? I should appreciate her. And you know what? You're right. I appreciate her for advocating for men. I do.
Oh, you're right.
But is this necessarily going to create a good outcome in the long run, in mid to long term? We're going to find out because I got some good, terrible examples to show you today. Don't leave. Hit that like button because I got some things to show you today. For those of you that keep fighting gender roles in a society that has genders, right? You're going to learn today some new lessons. Okay, let me rewind small.
I schooled abroad. I am telling you the truth. Because the thing is, but the ones that are residents there, because now men that are living abroad are scared of even coming to Africa to get married and bringing the woman from Africa to abroad. But the ones that are residents there are so disrespectful. I'm telling you the truth.
What is she doing? What exactly is she doing? The one that are resident in Yankee, they are so disrespectful. She sounds like somebody who lives abroad, right? She sounds like somebody that means well. She sounds like a very logical woman, the same type of woman that everybody is advocating for. I need a woman who is logical. Let me just tell you right now, because I got some other stuff to show you today. Anybody that used the word logic multiple times in one delivery of a message is not logical. They're not. They're just not. They're trying to justify the bullshit. They're just as emotional as the rest of us. Please put that down somewhere. Write that down in your note. I'm just speaking from logic. We use logic over here. It's bullshit. They're just as emotional as the rest of us. I'm going to prove that to you today. Okay?
I schooled abroad. I am telling you the truth. Because the thing is...
What did she say? Another buzzword. We all say it. But anybody that tends to say, I'm telling you the truth, there's a good chance that they're telling a big old lie out of their throats. But sometimes they're not really aware that they're telling a lie because it's a belief system. You know, belief system is belief system. To you, it feels like it's the truth. But then you forget that there's limitations to how truthful your belief system. Your belief system is a subject of how you were raised, your culture, your religion, your biases. You don't need to help the truth if it's the truth. Biroban Lolo Goduni. One day, Shani. You don't need to help the truth. The only thing you can claim is your own truth. You can leave your truth. I advocate for that you leave your truth, right? Because if you're wrong, the rest of society will call you out on your bullshit anyway. Like today, I'm going to call some people out on the bullshit.
As soon as we get to, especially Heathrow, it's like, I am in another world. Excuse me. You want to behave like a white lady. No, you are an African.
That guy is shaking his head. He's shaking his head because he's enjoying what she's saying. He's agreeing with it. I don't know if I'll meet this man, so let me be respectful. Okay, I'll be respectful. But let me just say, he's full of shit. He doesn't know what the hell he's hearing. The only reason why he's shaking his head and enjoying this delivery is because he has personal stories that he could relate with the pain of what she's talking about. But they don't know what they're talking about. There's no one that lands in Heathrow and say, I'm just going to behave like white woman. That's not how that shit works. That's not how it works. That's another way to escape accountability. At best. Let's unpack how it actually works. It's going to take us days, years. Right? Let me see somebody I have to chime in. Oh, what Africa? What Africa? What Africa? Can you turn on your camera for a second and wave at me? I won't show your face. Let me just make sure. All right, good. I'll bring you up right now. You can close your camera. All right. What's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm okay. Yeah, I hear you. How's everything with you?
Very good. Where are you plugging in from? What's your name, sir?
My name is Ben. I'm calling you from New York.
From New York City. Okay.
Yeah, New York.
Do you want to hang out with me or you want to chime in on something really quickly?
No, yeah. You know what I wanted to say? I'm hanging out with you because I know you from the Mrs. B.
Okay, Auntie B.
Side. Yeah. So I'm coming over because this is my type of family because you're a man. You know what I'm saying? This men talk.
My guy.
So yeah. So What I'm gonna say, right? About this issue now that you're talking about with the ladies abroad
Yes.
and us going to Nigeria, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we're going to Nigeria to escape the rigmarole that happens here in the United States.
Break that down. Break that down. Break that down.
The
What's rigmarole?
rigmarole. Like for example, I'm the kind of guy like I don't want people to know my woman.
Oh,
I
really?
like I like it like incognito. Like as a man, right? If everybody knows your woman,
Uh huh.
there's less respect. You don't want to be around everybody that has the same girl. Like everybody, this woman is known. As a man, you're gonna be feeling one kind. So you will go to Nigeria to escape. Right? Yeah, you're right in one way, but at the same time, you're going to Nigeria to come and bring a girl into the fold, or they don't
Mm-hmm.
even know the girl, so they can't really tell what's one and two. You know what I mean? So you're
Hmm.
controlling the situations, you're controlling the gossiping. And two, some of the women abroad, some of them are up there in age, right?
Right.
So yeah, so you're expecting to have kids, you're expecting to do all these things, right? So
Are you
your child.
saying there's no young girls here? And what do you mean? What do you refer to as young or old?
Okay, younger, and I'm not being disrespectful, right?
No, no,
So a
no.
man,
You're
yeah,
good,
yeah,
man. Mhm.
yeah, because a man who's 40, or let's say going to 42 years of age, right? We
Mhm.
know the situation, right? So we
Mhm.
want to, so now what's available now? The women that are available overseas are like 38, 37, 39, 40, 41, 42. But if you talk to them, some of them, right, sir?
Mhm.
If
Yeah.
you talk to and you remember, uh, Sister B always laugh at me when I say psychoanalysis. You're there,
Right.
right? When I talk like that. When
Right.
I
Right.
make a
Right.
psychoanalysis, those girls are 38, 39, 40, but
Right.
with the mentality of someone who's 20 years old.
Uh huh.
Do you get it now? So when you're going to Nigeria, sometimes a 26-year-old, 27-year-old girl
Uh huh.
has the mentality of someone that is 40, at times. You're going to
Hmm.
get that at times.
So, what do you say to people that say after they bring their woman over here? Okay, this is a real life story I want to share today,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Say. I'm going to tell you,
That
I'm going to give you
that
the answer.
right, and they end up divorcing them. Some of them within the first 5 years, the lady end up divorcing the man. Right? They brought
Hmm.
some of them brought themselves from the village, and
Hmm.
some of them they went to Nigeria to marry. But after they brought the girl here, he got dumped. What do you say
He
to
got
that?
dumped. Okay, you know what it is? Sometimes as a man, we know our sexual compatibility. So if we're 45 years old, right?
Uh huh.
And we're going for the young tenderoni that is 25 years old. And your sexual drive is not up there like how it's supposed to be. Like maybe you one, two, three, four, 5 times. Of
Okay.
course, you're in trouble. You're in trouble, man. You're in
Yeah.
trouble. So, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. So if you're 45, I just want to give you an example. If you're
Uh,
45, go for a
uh,
woman that's like 35 or 30s that will understand that you need to go out there to make the bacon and to bring it back home. But if you're 45 years old, what's available abroad? You don't have the pick of the litter. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's how some of the men feel. You
that's
get
how
what
they
I'm saying now?
feel. That's how they feel.
Yeah, that's how they feel. It's not enough to pick from. So when you go to Nigeria, yes, you're getting the younger girl, but some of us, like you,
Uh
you
huh.
know, you real recognize real, right?
Uh
So
huh.
we
Yes.
know we're not gonna go. Listen, when I talk to a young woman,
Uh huh.
23, 22, I want to marry. No, have fun. You'll be ready to marry at 27, 28, because me, that's age appropriate for marriage. That's what
Okay.
I feel from my
So let
from
me make
my
sure I get your ages right. If you're 40, what's the typical age you think a man should go for if he's 40 years old?
If he's 40 years old, he should go for like 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, like that.
Okay.
You understand? Like
Okay.
late 20s, early 30s.
And what
Because
if
you
he's
want to
20?
have
What
to,
if he's 27?
if he's 27, he should, he should be having fun, man. He shouldn't go marry. I don't know. But it depends. Igbo culture. I'm Igbo.
Uh huh.
So as an Igbo man, some of us, we don't marry early. I mean, Yoruba will marry early, Bini will marry early. Igbo, we don't marry early. So Igbo will marry maybe 35. sometimes 40. You know what I'm saying? It
Okay,
depends.
okay. Hang out with me as long as you want to. Okay. Let me
Yeah,
call
I'm
on.
hanging out
Let
with you.
me.
I'm hanging out with you, man.
All
Don't
right, all
worry.
right. Hold on,
All
hold
right.
on. Let me get bro Patrick. But Patrick, are you there, sir?
Uh,
Yeah, I'm here.
What do you have to say to what my brother Ben just said? Are you? Did you listen to him? Good to see you, sir. Good to see you again.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I made a comment that our social skill affects our relationship
Yes.
or who we are attracted to.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I saw that
So
comment.
it's not by going abroad. It's not by going to Nigeria. You are not marrying a robot in Nigeria when you bring her down here.
Hmm.
It's the same. People fail to realize that we are all human beings. And we have a sense of adventure. That in quotes, everybody wants to live fine.
Yes, absolutely. Everybody want
So
that soft life
if
sometimes.
you bring somebody from Nigeria down here, you don't want that person to remain the same. You want to polish your wife. You want her to go to school. Our sense of belonging is going to be different. The
so
way she's
so
going to
so
see.
so Papaji, sorry to cut you, sir. They are afraid. It sounds like a lot of people are afraid to even do that because the moment they empower the woman, she might just leave.
That's
That's
what
what
I'm
this is
saying.
sounding like, Abby.
If you're afraid, that's where the social skill come. What is wrong with the ladies that are in America or in
Mm.
London that you cannot engage them? Yes. You went to school, you graduated, you are working, at least you apply before you work. What is wrong? Ladies that are here too, they need partner. Why don't you mingle with them?
So this lady is saying they are disrespectful.
Who told you? Who told you? What does it mean by that distress? That's a very general statement.
In fact, D love is already on top of this. Listen,
What does she mean by that disrespectful? What does she mean that they are disrespectful? You know,
this
they
is the
say
question. So these are the issues.
light begat light, the law of homogeneous species. So go to Nigeria and bring your wife and turn out to Mugu. So she doesn't know anything. That's what you want?
That's what they're sounding like to me. You know what,
Yeah. I'm hearing you,
gentlemen,
brother.
stay with me as long as you want to. Let me get through some of these videos. I'll be bringing you once and for all, right? But I see some, just so you know, I see some contradicting opinions between Brother Ben and Brother Patrick. But we're going to unpack it together because I think it's deeper than even any of it. But great point so far, gentlemen. Let's get to it. Let's see.
We have core values as African women. And that is why you see that they spend 6 months abroad and they come back and they tell you how men abroad are cooking for their wives, how this. It's not done like that in Africa. And that is not an African man oppressing you, no. For some reason, I hadn't cooked for a month in my house, and I decided to cook today. Okay, yesterday and today. I made ogbono soup yesterday, and I ate, and I enjoyed food for the first time, of course, because Oga traveled. For the first time in 1 month, I enjoyed food. And today, I made vegetable stew, and then this evening, I made plantain and egg sauce. Like, I made it, and I enjoyed it. It's an African woman's thing.
But wait, oh, she just said she did cook for a whole month. Is she aware that there's somebody out there that will judge her for not cooking for straight 1 month as a wife? Let's continue.
You understand? So I don't understand why you get abroad and you think you are not a white woman and you rubbing shoulder with a man and it's see, you know they help. You know they help.
All right, ladies, if you want to advocate for, let me just say this really quickly. Let me bring Brother Ade into the stream as well. If you want to advocate for men, let me say this. I will explain it as we go through. What you need to do is stay out of the way of men improving themselves. You need to stay out of the way of men trying to improve themselves. It's not, I don't think it's intentional that you bring certain types of energy that would disrupt the necessary growth that men need to go through, especially in a world that more and more men are becoming more effeminate. But I guarantee you, it's not logic. It's not common sense. Common sense is going to be destroyed in this conversation. And we are going to talk about it today. How are you, sir? Brother Ade, are you there?
Yes, sir. Ola, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How are you,
Oh
sir?
my
Good to see you.
goodness. Good to see you, brother. I've been a while on your program. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, sir.
And,
Yes, sir.
I hear Brother Patrick is on the platform. That is wonderful.
Yes, and I have Brother Ben too.
Hey, Brother Ben. Okay.
Yeah.
What's going on? What's going on?
Yes, sir. They have, this issue that you bring up, I just like the topic. Because I happen to be, my brother did it. And it becomes a tongue in the flesh. It becomes a poison. And this is something like earlier, Brother Patrick mentioned something about when we go back home to Africa. We go there because to me it's like most of the time, and this happened a lot of time with the older gentlemen that does that. They're in their 40s, 50s, they go back, they are in marriage relationship here, they have kids of their own, and they go back to Nigeria to go and get a young lady. So you're looking for trouble. You're never going to satisfy a young lady
You
at
see?
your age. You will never. Number one, and if such a woman that you bring, she's a career oriented. And then the misconception that we put it on the platform today, the misconception that we men have, especially we African men, we always think we can control and manipulate. That is ingrained in us. Is that us? I come like that too. So for us, we're thinking that we're bringing a woman to this part of the world.
So it's the manipulation, the controlling behavior that's
exactly. That's a lot of time that is happening, because you have to see that all these that the people that divorce, look at their age different. Because if you and then look at their age different, and at what level or at what kind of emotional connection do they have before going back to Nigeria or going back to Africa to go and get a woman? Because number one, you're not going there for you to have somebody that, because a lot of time is that they go there, they don't even know this. You don't know the woman you're involved with. You just see her or maybe a couple of times, and you're attracted to her. You have never courtship with her. You have never known her. You have never, have such a relationship to understand this woman that I'm bringing over here, because when they come here, it's a different ball game. Because, and this is the misconception that a lot of Nigerian men think that, oh, I'm bringing you here. I have a power over you. Whatever I say, whatever I do, and then and the mistake what they use is otilaju. What does that otilaju means? I don't get it. I don't get that that she's now smart. She's not, of course, she's not a dummy. You expect your woman to be smart, or like you expect your woman to be a value-added aspect of woman to you as a man. That's what we want. And that's what a man and everything should aspire for in life. A woman that you have, besides being compromised, besides being sharing your life, she has to be a value to your life. That's it.
So Brother Ade, so what some people are saying is that the way she will be of value to me is to be quiet, stay where I put her, and follow my lead. Get along with my program. That's what some people consider value. What do you have to say to that?
That's another mistake you're making when you do that. It was an act of manipulation too. How can I stay behind you? Because what you're saying is that when you say that means she has no right. She has no value. You are that whatever you say goes. Because you to me, a man and a woman supposed to be not, as God created us, we're supposed to be, when you say we a woman, we're supposed to
Mhm.
be a co-captain. If I decide what to use, a co-captain. So if I'm sinking, you
Right.
understand me? If the plane is going down, she's there to gear it up and say, "Okay, I'll take over," and that's what it's supposed to be. But when you do that, that's means she's what I call it, a second class citizen to you. She's not part of you. She's not on the level with you because you are making her. You are and that's what exactly happened when they go back to Nigeria and they go bring this woman. A lot of them sacrifice and send her to school.
All right. But are you going to be hanging out with me?
No, I'm gonna be here with you tonight, Ola, because we
Okay.
gotta get down to this subject.
We have a conversation to have today, and a lot of it is one half of it is people who think they can, men who don't really realize quickly that women are women at the end of the day, and the other side of it is women who really want to help us because there's a struggle going on in manhood, and they really want to help us, but the good intentions are not good enough. They're causing trouble. So we're going to talk about it today. Let me first of all get to say hello. Victoria, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, how are you? You have like a quick are you hanging out with me too?
No, I'm just gonna be quick and out.
All right, talk to me, Victoria. How are you? You good?
I'm good. Yeah. So this is a really great topic. Here's the thing. Okay, so let me quickly explain. My family, we are 4 guys, all extremely well-to-do, like really, really well-to-do.
Okay.
And do you know? And they're all married. They all married really early. The most problematic wife, was the most traditional during dating. In fact, the one that we're enjoying the most as a family, and my brother is enjoying the most, did not know how to cook.
Right.
My mom taught her how to cook, and she became like my mom's little baby. She has my mom's picture in her phone. We lost my mom.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, she even like saved a lot of messages from my mom that she sends to my dad now, like all the conversations. So like you can't really tell. Marriage is a gamble. You can't really tell that a girl is pretending to you to be humble before you get married. Right. You really don't know what she's gonna be as a wife.
Right.
So all these, I'm going to Nigeria to do this. Oh, she doesn't know how to cook. Look at how she behaves with other people. I think that's the best way you can tell. How does she treat people around her that really have nothing for her to value from? Do you understand what I mean?
I hear you. I agree with you 100%. The choice of words, I would say marriage is 100% a move of faith.
Yes.
You know, it's 100%. As in, like, we're saying the same thing, but the word gamble creates another effect in people's brain, right? Like, why would I want to gamble my life away, right? But we all agree that we make a lot of move of faith in life, right? But go ahead, continue. I didn't want to interject you.
Yeah, so I mean that's really my point. I mean, even like this wife, they've been married now for, I don't know, 15 years. That my brother's the one we call the little baby of the house, my brother's wife. Right. And everybody just loves her. She's amazing. She's fun. She likes to have fun. We go out together when my brother is not around. She's just easy. And the thing is, we're all busy saying, oh, we want somebody that knows how to cook. Look at the personality. Do you guys gel? Do you really enjoy being together? Like, those are the things that, for me anyway, and that's what has worked for my brothers. Right. The woman who's like, because what you're doing sometimes is this women that you're saying, oh, they're so traditional, blah, blah, they might end up just being a very judgmental person that other people can't even live with because they're judging people by their own standards. Yes. And they might just be a very difficult person. And this person now doesn't even want to cook anymore now that they're married. All the things that they were doing to get in, they're not doing it anymore because now they've gotten what they want. And you're
it's a double-edged sword. Like every behavior that you admire the most out there, both good and bad, are all double-edged sword. They can cut both ways. But based on what you just said right now, I am willing to argue that modern women make could make even better wives than quote unquote traditional women, which I don't think exist in reality. Right?
Exactly.
We are all modern people. And if you're not modern, if you are really living in a cave in your mindset like that, you live in a modern society at the end of the day.
My
And
recommendation to men, even though I'm not a guy, based on what I've seen, because I'm a woman and I know what women do. Women will pretend for you. But this is the thing. Yeah, they will. I mean, I have 4 brothers, right? And here's the
Right.
thing, like, what you really want to do is don't let that woman from the beginning know what you're really looking for.
Yeah.
Whatever it is you're looking for, just keep it in your mind and just watch out to see how she behaves.
Yeah.
You know, like, obviously some of them, when they see that you've come to Nigeria, they know that maybe you're looking for somebody traditional.
Exactly.
But don't put your cards on the table. Just kind of go with the flow and really watch how she treats other people, not you or the people that she's going to benefit anything from.
The problem with a lot of these guys is that they are lame. They are lame. One of the elements of lame people is that they are predictable. You know exactly what they're going to say next. You know exactly why they came down to Nigeria at the age of 43 without a wife. They are so predictable. And then they wonder why they get finessed. That's the word.
Yeah, and these women know. Let me tell you something. They will play the game with you, man, for 2 years or whatever amount of time. They'll get the ring, come here. They are playing a script. But the thing is, you tell this man they don't want to. They just don't want. They don't want to hear it. And you can actually find women where you already have women you get along with where you live. I'm sure. You already have friends.
No. One of the problems, not all of them, of course, is that they're not getting along with the woman. They lack, Brother Patrick already said it, they lack social skills, and it's their shadow. It will follow them everywhere they go. It's a lack of social skills. If you can't talk to a woman anywhere in this world, in any demographic, if you can't make her mind tickle small, that's a you problem. So if you go to Nigeria, of course, that context will kind of package for you, right? Package a lady for you, make you think like she's traditional. They will package it well for you, right?
They'll package it though. I've seen too many stories, man. My family is big and they'll package it well for you. And by the time you're done, man, I'm sorry. You just be careful, man. Me, I don't have any hatred for men or anything. So I'm really coming from a place of, love. I have a great father. I have amazing brothers. So
I could tell. Are you the same person as Oyade?
Yeah, I have a great family.
Okay. Yeah, I could tell. I could tell that you help. See, the most important things in this life is not to be perfect. Is to have good relationships around you, because you're never going to be perfect. You used the word scripted just now. We all script, we all package, we all present our best foot forward, don't we?
Yeah, we do. But the thing is, right, we package, but then you can package with good intentions and you can package with ulterior motives that are really terrible.
Yes.
For example, the women that get married and get what they want and they leave, that's terrible.
Speaking of ulterior motives, before you leave, let me play this video real quickly, okay? Before you leave, let me play this video. I want everyone to chime in on this.
So why did you guys get a divorce?
Because I really wanted something different. It's very unfortunate because he was the most loving, kind person. I had all the love and support that I could have ever wanted. But I think I went through a period wanting money. Like I wanted to be with someone and be at a different level. And I saw him work all of the time. It's one thing to like work from like 4 a.m. to 10 p.m. at night, day in, day out, and still have no resources. And for me to work, do the same, and just want a different life.
So, long story short, you wanted a different life and lifestyle than he was able to provide. And so you said, you know what, this, I'm out of here. I need more money.
I was selfish and took advantage of a real unfortunate situation, which was he loved me and David unconditionally, completely unconditionally. And when you love someone like that, you really accept their flaws and you accept less than what you should. So really, I should have been a better wife. Every time we saw each other, like you knew that was your soulmate, right?
Wow, so he was your soulmate.
It's hard because I knew how he still felt about me.
He just loved you.
He really did.
And you broke his heart. Oh, don't cry, too.
Victoria, I want to hear what you have to say about this. Then I'll go around the panel.
Honestly, women do this. Honestly, men, I don't know. Do you guys listen to Jordan Peterson?
In recent time, I started paying attention to him, but some women have pushed back and say he was somehow. But I like what I've heard so far.
I like him.
from
I
him.
watch him a lot, actually. So,
Yeah.
honest, this is it, guys.
Oh.
A woman like this is they're everywhere. You know, if you have some, that's why you don't put your cards on the table. Don't let anybody know what it is you're looking for. Exactly. If you really want a spouse, look for the qualities that you're looking for in that person, just as the person is, without giving them any requirements. Because by the moment you start putting your requirements down, they will fit in. They will try to fit themselves.
Exactly. Oh my God, Victoria, you're dropping games for men. Oh my God, you're dropping the game.
They will fit that criteria to the T. I want a traditional woman. Oh, she'll start coming to your house to wash plates.
Dude, traditional women will show up everywhere. In the manosphere on YouTube, they will show up everywhere.
They will
Oh,
do
dear.
plumbing, they'll do your laundry, they'll do everything. Let me tell you something. They will play the script to the T. In fact, by the time they enter, it will be so late.
It's too late. The real person will come out.
And they usually oh God, I met a guy that wanted to, sometime back, wanted my boyfriend, blah, blah. I had to run because by the time he told me his story, I was like, oh, that's a shame. He had gone to Nigeria to marry a girl. And I don't know why he did that. It was like 20. They got married when he was 27.
Mm-hmm.
And he came back to the US with the girl. By the time, within like a year, they had a divorce. She was actually beating him.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you for saying that. Oh, that's real.
Domestic violence. She was he had to run away. Like, he moved from Maryland to like upstate New York.
Wow. I have very close stories like that too. I have very, very close stories
And I
like
said,
that.
this is a submissive woman. I said, are you still looking for submission?
I know.
I said, here's the thing. Like, for me, I think you definitely need to heal, because you need to process all of it, like what you really want. Because in your certain phase of your life, when you went to Nigeria, you wanted somebody submissive, but then you went to Nigeria without really looking, and you met someone who pretended, played a script, brought her here, and she turned to be total opposite. I'm sure if you had stayed here and found somebody you were compatible with, I don't think you'd be in the same situation. I doubt it. Maybe you have other problems, but she might not be beating you up. So anyway.
Yeah, it's this people. The problem is actually quite simple. Of course, we have to unpack it. It's people that keep looking for the answer on the outside. Whatever they're looking for in life, any one of us, is inside, because we attract who we are. There's no way, shape, or form. Does that mean bad things don't happen to bad people? Does that mean the Tiffany's of this world don't exist? That's not what I'm saying. They do exist. But for the most part, in these stories we're talking about, it's you. It's something about you that keeps attracting this type of thing. You never learned, you got out of one situation, you never learned why you attracted that person in the first place. All you were focused on is blaming them. And now you jump into another situation looking for a quick answer, a quick fix by running to Nigeria or Brazil to go find a girl. You will get finessed. It's the same issue. Thank you so much, Victoria. If you want to hang out, feel free to hang out. Let me go to Brother Patrick. What do you have to say about that? Oh, sorry, Brother Ben.
Yeah.
That video.
That video. Let me just tell you the truth, right? Sometimes love is not enough in a relationship, And when you're going to Nigeria, like all those guys going to Nigeria, right? Like you are saying right now, you're very sharp. I like the way you talk. So some of them they lack social skills, as Brother Patrick said, and you said they're lame, and that's
Lame.
quite all right. Okay,
Yeah.
because
Oh, sorry. Lame as in lack of
lame.
game. As in lack of
Lack
game.
of game, of
Yeah,
course,
yeah.
of
All
course,
right, all
their
right.
game is off. Yeah, I got you.
All right,
So
good.
I'm saying, you know what, Sheena Peters and Naira Marley don't go together. You understand?
Okay.
So if because if you love Sheena Peters, you can't you can't go with someone that love Naira Marley, which is
It's far.
the new generation. The new generation is Naira Marley,
Mhm.
Wizkid,
Right.
Davido, all that, Burna Boy, and Sheena Peters. 43. We all love Sheena Peters back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
Wasiu and stuff like that. And so it's a two different generations. But
Right.
on that video, love is not enough at times. So sometimes the women thinks that it's green, the grass is greener on the other side, but it's
The other
not.
side.
It's not. So
Mm.
I say this to everybody. If you're looking for good women,
Mhm.
their virtues have to be more than their vices.
Hmm.
Yeah, because we all have red flags. Okay. You're
Yes.
saying something?
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
We do all have red flags. I need everyone to really take that in and let it set to sleep over it, drink water on top of it. We all have red flags. Go ahead, brother.
No, that was it, because
right.
we all have that red flag, and that is it. So in order to finish this, right, we men can contain a woman's red flags, but they can't contain our red flag.
Mm.
We might have one or two red flags, right?
Mm.
They're ready to divorce. You see how that woman, she was getting all the love and everything, but she still divorced the man that she loved.
Mm.
But we can take all the red flags. A woman can have 10, 13, 12, 14
Yeah,
red flags.
Brother Ben, I'm not sure
Yeah.
that's true much longer. I'm not sure that's true much longer. Men, I hate to say, you're all of my brothers. Men are slowly becoming women. In terms of emotional
you're right. They're becoming
stability.
feminine. Yeah, you're right. They're becoming
Yes.
feminine. Yeah, I know.
This is
No more
something that we
masculine
want.
men.
That's what we have to talk about. And it's not anyone's fault. It's the product of the society we're part of, and we're trying to correct. If we don't correct it, to correct itself anyway. It's just that some people will chop breakfast tire. You see what I'm saying? If we don't correct, it has to autocorrect regardless, right? But for a few individuals, they will get this. They will learn the game that we're talking about, and they will say, you know what? Right now, I want to go to Brother Ade, right? One of the main, thank you to Victoria, she really pointed this out really greatly. One of the issues, which is part of the symptoms of lack of game, is being predictable. We know exactly what part of that couch you're going to lay your big ass stomach at the end of the night and do nothing, put your foot up, and then expect her to be there forever. It's unrealistic expectations. It's not going to fly. Not like you said. Okay, this is, lame people always think Sheena Peters is a gospel artist too. Because he sang for God. He sang some hymn, right? Lame people don't realize that Sheena Peters was the Naira Marley 30 years ago, right?
Yeah,
They don't get the analogy, right? But we will unpack it. Let's get to Brother Ade. What do you have to say about that video with that young lady who literally left her husband because of money? She admitted to it on video. This is actually a reality TV show that my wife and I watch. So she's a real person.
But you have to realize that even from the cultural perspective, a lot of us have come from our background. Because I remember, as from what I grew up knowing, I'm 60 something now. It's like in those days, whatever men are going through, it's forbidden for you to exhibit and show it to the society. Because the society considered as a kind of weakness. We have a culture too. What women go through, we go through. But the society has conditioned us not to express or to show it. Right. So you know what I mean by that. Even
I know.
to cry.
I know.
In my society is a taboo.
So we're so speaking of auto-correcting, I think we are auto-correcting that all the way to the other extreme. Now you have men now don't know when to stop talking.
Yes,
They want to
exactly.
tell everything, and Yoruba people say kì í ṣe gbogbo nǹkan tójú bá rí lẹ́nu máa ń sọ,
Yeah.
right? So go ahead, sir. I advocate for
Well,
people to share and be vulnerable, but
I mean, yeah, you know what? That's good because for me, it's not like I'm an expert in knowing them, but I'm talking in terms of wisdom and experience.
wisdom.
What we see every day that happen. Because I know the party will testify to it. The generation of us that came here to this diaspora in our 20s, now we're in our 60s. A lot of our women are now going through the crisis of what we neglected, of what we've taken care of. Because all the women at my age group, they're lonely now, Ola. Because they're always now thinking, oh, I don't need the man, or my children is my children. I don't, you know, that mentality. But now the children are grown and they are born in diaspora. And they don't need, because now they want to be independent. They want to go and explore the world, because when we grow up in Nigeria, our mentality, it's not like we have to stay to take care of our parents. We have to. These children of the days, they don't. They don't.
Yeah.
We as parents of today, we just have to increase praying to God that when the time comes for us, they will be there for us. And this is why I'm looking forward to start a program whereby I want to re-engage the group of men that in my age group to know that what we're doing, we're destroying our women that came here to struggle with us. And number two, we're creating some kind of separation with us and our children, because the way we are brought up in our culture, Ola, you cannot do that to children that you give birth today here.
Right. It's a different world entirely.
It's a different world, it's a different scenario, it's a different
context.
Yes, because what you say in your house, they don't go to school and it's going to be the same. So as you have, as a parent in diaspora, you have to know how to balance it.
Yes.
And
balance.
Yes, you have to know how to balance. Don't say Nigerian culture is the best. Why are you not in Nigeria?
Exactly.
American culture is the worst. Why are you here? But always insisting there's good and bad in every aspect. Always
fact.
The guidance, the what it would make your children not to fall into the trap of negativities. Because I, for one, and I will disclose where I live. I live in Brooklyn, New York. Everybody, and I live in the most crime neighborhood, Ola. Everybody says, oh, East New York, is this? But I have a wonderful grown-up gentleman. I'm not saying it's
because I have to give you that credit, sir.
Yeah.
I have to. People don't want to give credit when you parent properly and the outcome is good, and then they wonder why they're not able to replicate it.
Exactly.
You get that credit, sir.
Because what happened is that a lot of men in my group, they like to make excuses for not being there for their children. Yeah. And then we have to take ownership. That's men I always put it to that, and that's why I go to Sister B's show. That men we have to take ownership of things that is so bad in the society. Everything is about the woman.
Because that was going to be my next question for you. What do you say to people that will say you are blaming men? Because you said something, we're destroying the women, right? What do you say to men that will say you are blaming men for everything? Women should take responsibility too.
Yeah, it boils down to this point. When we do that, that is in a scenario where you find, because you have to understand that women, they come to the point of life with a lot of emotion, more than women. And men is, yes, that's the reality. If you see a woman that talks like that, you will know that she's coming. And I know you're very smart. I always like you because you always speak up. When people speak, you always pick up where they're coming from. And you see that that comes from that point of view, that so you can see they have they've come to a point of the kind of toxic environment, a dysfunctional family, and everything. That's what you have to realize, that some women are coming from. And then and then for us to say, we cannot generalize.
Right.
We cannot paint one paintbrush
with everything. Yes.
excellent Nigerian women in America today, and they are doing
Yes.
more than anything else. I mean, you can
Yes. And housewives.
yes,
And empowering their husband. They're everywhere.
husband, value their husband, and
Yes.
every day they make their husband sit back, and they make their brother they sit back and push their husband forward,
Yes.
think that he's the one doing it, everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To
Yeah.
give him that glory, like, oh man. So
Yes.
that's what it is. But a lot of times that women are afraid that at the ending of the day, what is my end goal? If
Right.
I make this sacrifice, if I do this for you as a man,
Right.
I do
Right.
this forever. I mind it because
And you're not exonerating them. You're just saying, listen, there's a source. There's a place where any type of disrespectful or unruly behavior, there's a place. It's coming from a place.
Yeah, it's coming from a place. So let me tell you, your behavior is coming, and this is what I tell a lot of people. Our background, our way we grow up shapes a lot of our behavior.
Yes. Yes.
Whether you like it or not.
And there before I move on to Brother Patrick real quickly, there I had that the women of the society is a function of the men of that society.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the bottom line. Because if you don't think of that as an absolute, what's the other flip side of the answer? That men are the function of the woman.
Yeah.
And then you want to claim that you are a leader of the society, or you want to claim the position of leading your home.
Yeah, because
it's not going to add up.
And what men need to realize too, we have our feminine part in us. Does our father not give birth to us? It's a man and a woman that we came through to this world. So every man have a feminine part. It's just that the way we exhibit it, the way it's shaped through our environment.
Yes.
We have women. Yes, we are all. Because I can tell you from my own family, where my mother gave 7 boys or 7 men, I don't have no female. I don't have no sisters. My mom insisted of, this is what God has given me.
Right.
And I will make you function in a society that demand a man function and a woman function.
Yes.
So I'm not going to give you the excuse, oh, you're the man.
No, we don't see excuse. Listen, I tell people all excuses are legitimate, but they all create the same outcome. They will slow you down from your progress in life. Every single one of those legitimate excuses in the society where there's men and there's women, it's very simple. The men take responsibility and build the society. Now we're in the time and age that we have to build from an emotional standpoint. That means you need to be aware. You said something that women are more emotional. I think women are more emotionally expressive.
Yes,
because when you see the anger of a man, you will know he has emotions.
Yes, and then I will tell you this. That's why we should give the women the grace. You know the word I use, grace. That
grace.
We don't took everything that we say, oh, they're bad. For crying aloud, the process of a woman bringing another baby to life is a huge emotional roller coaster for them, because this is a woman that's gone through shapes of each step. So can you tell me, we as a man, we go through that process to see the outcome of it? I'm not excusing a bad woman.
We're not excusing bad behavior.
But we have to come to realize as men, sometimes we need to step back.
Because knowing when to back off, know when to back off, and
I told my wife this, and I tell everybody, I cannot be 50-50 with you, with my children.
It doesn't make any logical sense for those that like to claim logic. It doesn't make any, like when you claim 50-50, either you're holding the woman responsible, accountable 50-50, she must be adult too. It doesn't make any logical sense.
And that's it. And then in our society, every now they say, how do you
that's the society.
Man, is it only her that give birth to that child? Where are you being? It's an example our own. Sometimes when I look at the culture, sometimes give us a validation for a what we call it excusable or irresponsible way of doing things, because the culture tell you this. So therefore, okay. What is my overall responsibility in bringing this child to life? So that's
But let me play the video one more time for those that just joined, and then I want to hear what Brother Patrick has to say. Then we gotta get into another video really quickly. Let me play the video one more time just for those that have just joined, just to make sure that we're on the same page. Yeah, let me see. Here's the video. Let's play it one more time. Okay.
Divorced before, my first marriage, we made all of the mistakes. Unfortunately, he passed away.
So why did you guys get a divorce?
Because I really wanted something different. It's very unfortunate because he was the most loving, kind person. I had all the love and support that I could have ever wanted. But I think I went through a period wanting money. Like I wanted to be with someone and be at a different level. And I saw him work all of the time. It's one thing to like work and work and work from like 4 a.m. to 10 p.m. at night, day in, day out, and still have no resources. And for me to work, do the same, and just want a different life.
So, long story short, you wanted a different life and lifestyle than he was able to provide. And so you said, you know what, this, I'm out of here. I need more money.
I was selfish and took advantage of a real unfortunate situation, which was he loved me and David unconditionally, completely unconditionally. And when you love someone like that, you really accept their flaws and you accept less than what you should. So really, I should have been a better wife. Every time we saw each other, like you knew that was your soulmate, right?
Wow, so he was your soulmate.
Keep in mind that she didn't realize
it's hard because
she didn't realize he was a soulmate until after losing him.
I knew how.
By the way, she's newly remarried to another man. When she's actively saying what she's saying right now, has she learned any lesson?
He still felt about me.
He just loved you.
He really did.
And you broke his heart. Oh, don't cry too.
The reason for me playing that, Brother Patrick, I'm bringing you to the stage right now. The reason for me playing that is that if you think some women are evil,
you're right.
But the conversation is much more deeper. Brother Patrick, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Victoria made a very wonderful point. Brother Ben too and Brother Day, they really spoke very well. I've learned to listen now than talk. So I've learned a lot from all three. What I'm just going to say, I said I studied English and Literature at the University of Benin.
Right.
And the School of Humanities.
So you were one of the people fighting to be on top University Uniben and OAU.
Yeah, they said humanity is different between appearance and reality. Yeah, I've read more than 200 novels even while in school. They have to write papers on them. They give us a picture of human beings, what they are capable of doing. And in this case, this woman said she wanted a different life. She admitted that. And I made a comment that if you cannot showcase your wife,
right,
you have no business in getting married.
Right.
And ultimately, that kind of marriage can never last.
Yes. Not in this context.
Yes.
Yeah.
Marriage is different from every other thing. You are going to be two, are going to be one. If you look at that calculation. And in this woman, she's not ready to mingle with the man. She doesn't want to. She knows the reason why she's there, and that's where the man lost it. Yes, like I said, the law of homogeneous species, light begat light. Light cannot stand in darkness.
Yes.
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 If that woman, I don't know where they met each other, that man should have known that this woman is not the woman.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's much more important lesson than the fact that she was evil. Like, okay, we don't hear you. What is the lesson? Go ahead,
yes,
sir.
One thing I wanted to talk whenever I go to Sister Auntie B give me opportunity, I'm going to apologize today. I was online, but I wasn't able to connect because I had some appointment.
Okay.
One thing I want to say to people is that we should be held accountable for everything that we do. Don't justify that, okay, I didn't know, or maybe it's the devil. No.
There's no lesson in that.
You can see what happened in England. The PM resigned. She took accountability.
Right. I saw that today.
I took time to listen to Kirk Franklin interview.
Okay.
That was heard. He said, the man.
That's a solid man. That's a solid man. Yeah.
This guy just owned. He owned that he messed up in his marriage. And he made a profound statement. He said the gifted should be made accountable in the body of Christ. You know why he said this? This man was hooked to pornography for many years. And he was a millionaire, he was a rock star, a gospel musician.
Go differ.
You understand?
Yeah.
And he said he was not held accountable. He was in California, so he was moving with the big guy, with the big boys.
Yeah. Frankly, people have no idea how big he is.
So you can't compare him to Sam Okposo. Franklin is known all over the world.
Yeah.
He said he was not held accountable. And he even told the wife that, let's do it together. And the wife did it within once. I said, no, I can't do this, Kirk. This is wrong. He said he was in the hotel room that God opened his side and he opened to his wife and said, God, I need help. Let me round it up. He said until when he gets to the church of this man, I forgot this man's church, this black man.
Where is it?
I remember until when he got to the church of that man, and the man said, no, the father is a singer, you are a music director, you are subjected to the same law. And that was when he simmered down. Said, wow, this man is disciplined. And that man told him that was his spiritual father. And that man changed.
Is it TD Jakes?
No.
Okay.
That this elderly man that the wife died not quite long. The daughter is also a preacher.
Okay.
Yes. I don't know why I just forgot this man's name. Right. So what I'm trying to bring out there is that we should be held accountable for whatever mistake we made.
Now, question for you, Brother Patrick.
Brother Patrick is Tony Evans.
Tony Evans, God bless
Tony Evans.
you. Okay. Tony Evans.
Right.
He said it was when he got to Tony Evans' church and Tony Evans got him discipline. He said, no, it doesn't matter where you are coming from. You are subjected to the same thing in the church.
Yeah. If not even to a higher standard, because on that pedestal that they are on, they fall harder. They fall farther away from the floor. The pain is going to be a lot more than just some regular nobody on the streets.
Yes.
You know?
So what are we saying, bro? Ola, we should be held responsible. We should be held accountable for everything. We are prone to make mistakes as human beings.
I have a question for you.
Okay, good sir.
So between man and woman intersexual dynamics and relationship, if anyone should be held accountable, if any one person had to be held accountable in a typical relationship, should it be a man or a woman, or should other factors weigh in?
No, these are adults. We hush both of them. You don't know, by ITB, you are talking about a brother that will tell you God said. This is 21st century. You know, I keep on telling people we are all flesh. We are all human beings. People, you can meet anybody anywhere. You can meet people online. You still have to engage yourself physically. Get to know each other. Online meeting is just a platform for you to meet. The fact that you meet somebody in church, you are not going to marry inside the church.
You shouldn't be exonerated from the responsibility of due diligence.
Yes. But I went for a men's conference, brother. Men's conference, Christian conference for 3 days. And when they call for people that were struggling with porn, brother, the people that came out, I couldn't believe it. You know, the people among the men that came out, 70%.
Well, porn addiction is a big struggle among men.
Listen, 70% of the men that came out are above 60 years old. All those men, 70 something, they were even watching porn as if they are watching movie every day.
Let's do this, because we have a video. This is actually the main video of the day. You're going to hear a little bit of a story, and I'm going to start with you. But let me play the video. Right? There's a couple of parts in the video that I'm going to play. About 3 parts of the video that I'm going to play. I'm going to play the first part right now. Then I want us to talk about it, right? And then and it has to do with the topic of today, which is the wife he took from Nigeria to the US wants a divorce. So this is the actual video that instigated it. Let me make sure I'm showing to the world that we are using this within the fair use guidelines. Okay. All right, so let's go for it.
It's true, some women change, but most
I've gotten there.
Listen to yourself. Okay, I think you're listening to yourself. If I have to cut that line off,
I
let's
have
take a few
tweets.
tweets because
I
we
have
need.
tweets.
We'd like to hear from
I
our friends from the US. They've not called yet, but I'm sure they're trying. Let's get a few tweets from them. Yes, Tope.
So, Moreni Keboki said, true, some women change, but most women remain loyal and persevere. How many cases of men marrying foreign women to get residency do we have compared to women marrying foreign men? Women bear most of the brunt and are usually the one who and are not usually the ones who betray. Men are rarely victims. That's our opinion. Surely Babe says, in my opinion, to the rich wife that changed when she traveled out, it's nothing but pride. On the other hand, for an average woman or the poor wife that is opportune, it is Ojo Rolari, that's you haven't seen wealth before. And because white countries seem to support women more in marriage.
Bilikis Morenike says, I don't agree that women just change. Some marriages were shaky before leaving for the abroad. Eventually breaks apart when they reach the land where their rights are guaranteed. Truth is, those laws were guaranteed in Nigeria also. They would have done the same thing. The real McCoy says, women change for the same reason men do, inherent. They become discontented, covetous. Hero. For me, men are to blame. How can you leave the women in the country you live and go to Nigeria to marry?
And it says that it also boils down to who you marry, your friend or just a girl that you take, that you didn't take time to know. For me, it's a circle of, if it's that one, it's a circle of distrust. Women in my own side of town.
Before I take it, let me pause you for a second. Hassan has been holding for a while. Okay. Hassan, are you there?
Yeah, good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is a very serious matter. It has been happening in our society, even in Nigeria here.
All right, so that one's going to bring Nigeria to it. Let's stop right there for a second, right? Patrick, let's start with you, right? And then we'll go around the panel.
All those comments that they
thoughts?
made, all those comments that they made, they are very valid points. Yes, those are dynamics. Why women changes.
It's not just
Yes.
some one thing. Like these women just come from Nigeria only to change.
No, not that the ultimate. There must probably there was problem back home before they come here, and you know their eyes are open, and you know women they have more power here. They will say okay, and by the time they talk to somebody, they say, well, you can do this, you can do this. Don't allow him to cheat you. You can see people listening to Bodo now. Some
Exactly.
of them they are now beginning to know what they begin to understand what they mean by red flag.
Exactly. They know what Mongo Park is now. Voila.
So you know that marriage is not more.
So, Brother Patrick, before you continue, here's the question I asked earlier. Your answer was perfect earlier, which is everybody should be held accountable. But I think my question wasn't framed properly, right? The question now around this particular topic right now, a woman who is listening to who becomes an Obodo fam, right? And then went back home and realizes that this guy we are marrying now freaking Mongo Park, you know, and decide, you know what, if you don't change this behavior, I want out, right? And the guy has his behaviors, whatever those red flags are, right? If she leaves that marriage, who should be held accountable? That will be more of the man. Okay.
But let me give you an example. A lot of men drag finances with their wife. When you, for example, when maybe you guys are still struggling and tax return comes, you have to be
tax
a
return
man.
wala. Tax return wala.
For example, tax return or no tax return, it goes into my wife's account.
That's the same pocket as far as I'm concerned.
Yes,
this is what some people call simping. But continue, sir.
Let me give you an example. Before we got married in Nigeria, my wife during our wedding, she was a manager in a car company. She started with the man with 5 cars. The man used to go to abroad, but before she left there, the man is the one selling Toyota now.
Okay.
He has a very big, and my wife was a manager, a senior manager there. The man was the master of the ceremony. You know what the man said? He said, this woman, you know why I like him? Like her, if you give her 10,000 naira to keep, by the time you get the money back, the number that was there is the same number of money. I mean, the number of the money, they say that will give you back. So when it comes to money, my wife is so strict. Let's do it this way. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
If you give her $10, the same $10, if you write your name, Deola, the same $10 she's going to give you back. You know, and as a man too.
As a man, it's very important.
Your goal is always to be a leader and show a good example.
Yes.
Not
just with your words, emotionally speaking.
When you are struggling with your wife about money, I didn't fit my wallet now.
Easily now.
By the time your wife begins to work and earn money, she will begin to tell you, man, when I came, that was when I didn't know it, but now time has changed. That's where Wala will come.
Yeah. Let me go quickly. hang out with me, sir. Let me go quickly to Victoria. Are you there? You still hanging out with me?
Yeah, I'm still here. I don't even know if I
thank
have
you so
anything.
much.
I don't even know if I have anything to add. I'll just say, I think that video, right? The last video.
Right.
It could be many. I mean, it's just not one thing. There are variables, right? There's so many different factors. Maybe the foundation of the marriage, right? Maybe it could be, maybe it wasn't strong enough, and then they come to America, and then it's something else. There are different experiences, culture shock.
Culture shock, yep.
And she's not able to deal with it, and then also that's why, like, I know it's gonna seem like I'm biased towards America, but the people that are already here, they've already gone through their own culture shock. You guys are on the same wavelength to an extent. you already know what they're going to be. You already seen the worst of them.
Right.
The person you're bringing from Nigeria, you don't know what they're going to be like in the new environment.
Right.
So you're going to have to wade through those phases that they're going to go through. And part of those changes or the evolution of that person in the new environment might end up causing disarray in the marriage.
Right.
And you don't really know, how all that's going to pan out until
So
they're
you're
here.
saying it's not just that she started hanging out with friends, they go out to the Yellow Day party every weekend, and she started to listening to all these women who sleep with other people's men, and now take care. You're saying it's none of that stuff.
I mean, that's possible, based on maybe our lifestyle in Nigeria also, which you're not even privy to because you just went there for a few months. She pretended for a few weeks. You come back, you go. You don't really know her that well anyway, so we don't know what is causing. It's just too many variables.
Remember. Sorry to interject. Remember that the context is that the wife he took from Nigeria suddenly is almost, there's a sudden effect in that context in the title, right? There's some sudden, like, this wasn't the woman. It's something I'm reading in the sentence, like, wife he took from Nigeria to the US wants a divorce. It's almost like there is no expectation that this is the woman that will ever ask for divorce, and we're blaming it on the fact that we took her to the abroad.
I think he's forgetting that she's a human being, right? So he took her. Doesn't mean that he just went to Nigeria. He didn't date her for a while. He just went there, picked her up, and brought a stranger to America just because she fits a profile and she's in Nigeria, and he has all these expectations. But she's still a human being in a new environment that has to adjust, and is going to go through, like I said, different phases, culture shock, meet different people, and have different experiences, different ways of perceiving what she sees.
Right.
So you know what I mean? Like, you don't know this person.
She has options, and she's aware now that she has options.
You don't know who this person is going to be in this environment. You only know what she's like in Nigeria, which is a totally different context for her.
Especially if you didn't know her before.
Exactly.
Yeah. Voila. Thank you so much, Victoria. Let me go to Brother Ben. Brother Ben, you there?
I'm here.
That video, what do you think about what the ladies of Your View TVC, shout out to them. What do you think of what they said?
Now give me give me a little thing on the.
I could play a little bit again.
Okay, just play a little bit again. Yeah, please.
Yeah.
So I can chime in. Yeah.
We needed to hear that.
See, some women change, but most women remain loyal and persevere. How many cases of men marrying foreign women to get residency do we have compared to women marrying foreign men? Women bear most of the brunt and are usually the one who and are not usually the ones who betray. Men are rarely victims. That's our opinion. Shirley Babe says, in my opinion, to the rich wife that changed when she traveled out.
Let's start with that. She said men are rarely victims. She did say that's that person's opinion. She's reading somebody's message.
Yeah.
Right. What do you think? Are men really victims, or who do you think is mostly the victim of this bringing people abroad to be served breakfast?
Sometimes it's the men's fault, as you said. We have to take accountability. Sometimes the woman that he's bringing from Nigeria, the woman that he's bringing from Nigeria is not. Nigerian culture is different from United States culture, right? So if you don't brief your woman on what's going on here in America, and she comes, some women in Nigeria, they believe that the man takes care of everything. You know what I mean? There's no such as 50-50. You don't do 50-50 in Nigeria. Who are you? And you'll be the laughing stock of the whole Nigeria 50-50 relationship. So a lot of men from here, when they go back to Nigeria, they don't tell the woman the truth. Hey, look, this is the society. This is how it is done. And now, let's say now, because in Nigeria now, you're going to Nigeria, showing them Mercedes-Benz, showing them Lexus, showing them Range Rover. No, you know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, in America, maybe you're a security guard.
Abby.
And you're living in a basement apartment. So you have to be very careful. You have to be very transparent with them. And then now when they come, they're like, I've been with this guy. And I know that I can do better in my life. And you know, there's other men out there that's willing to be sloppy seconds. You know what I mean? So they're putting a lot of ideas in our head. And even, you know, foreign men are ready to take Nigerian women off the hands of a Nigerian man, you know?
So who should be blamed for the wife leaving the husband once they got to America? Should the man take responsibility, or these are just evil women all over the place being brought from Nigeria to?
It's not. Sometimes it's not the evil woman. Sometimes it's the man that. Sometimes it's the man. Sometimes it's the woman. You know, because the man. Yeah. Sometimes the man, he doesn't know the relationship, or he doesn't know the. Like I always put psychoanalysis of the woman. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you know, I mean, that's what it is. But I'm telling you, a lot of things happen because of the man, because maybe he didn't give them the introduction on what America is about, because she's used to living in a nice mansion. Now she'll come to America and start living in an apartment building, you know, and she has to walk. She's not used to walking, you know. So a lot of factors could come into play. Maybe, you know, and I told you another factor again. You went to Nigeria, you went to go and bring a young woman. You're not keeping your sexual health up there if you know that you're in your 40s almost.
Let me ask you this question, right? Let me ask you this question. Chinye,
yes.
Shout out to Chinye. Chinye says, even if it's 50-50, they need to understand when they come that the woman needs to assist financially. Here's my question. When the woman comes and start helping you financially, because you made a point. In Nigeria, you are just a man. You are the man in terms of financial provision, right?
Exactly.
But suddenly, that's not the value you're bringing to this woman anymore, right? So my question is that, should a woman still, there are two things. We have 2 points of leverage right now. Tell the women that, hey, even if you are paying 50-50, you should never do this again. Or should we educate men that, hey, listen, be aware, the fact that she's paying 50-50 is going to tamper with the dynamics of things. Which angle would you go if God puts you on a pedestal and say, educate these lots? You did it? Oh, let me go to Brady. So 2 points of leverage, right? We know that for an average typical couple, when you do get here, there's a chance she's going to be helping with the bills at some point. Or you're attempting to send her to school, all that stuff. That's the typical, that's the average person. Should we educate, if we have only 2 choices, we have to make one choice. Should we educate the woman that you should never leave your husband regardless? Or should we educate the man and say, hey, listen, there's something you need to know about how the dynamics will change? Which one do you think is much more beneficial to us as a society, as a community?
I'm coming to this point on not to be, I would put it this way, because I'm going through that with a very close relative of mine, the same situation we're just talking about. And I know what happens. Because in a good environment of everything,
right,
we find out that women, like you say, 50-50 in terms of financial, well, it's good. But we fail to realize it's not only financial situation. Women need emotional support. Women need every single support we can offer them. Do you want to tell me that the way we grew up in Nigeria is the woman that takes care of the children alone? The man just sit down there doing nothing. For you as a man in Nigeria to help your wife do the dishes and do the laundry. Can you see what I'm talking about? It's in that society, it's not, they don't consider that. But in this society we live in, because remember, Brother Patrick just said, your wife walks, you walks.
Right.
And then she comes home, she cooked, and then she still have to take care of the child. She still have to do domestic, domestic responsibility. But you, as a man, just sit down there. Those are the things that sometimes men, we need to understand that when you see a woman giving you the accolade, giving you, there's certain quality that woman is holding on, not only financial. Financial, they know that some men married to Paul, they know. And Brother Ben has said it too, that there's a misleading and trust between, especially men in diaspora, going back to Nigeria. When you go to Nigeria, you displace your money, you displace such kind of qualities, come alive.
You're painting a picture that you can't keep up with.
That and this and that. Yeah. And when you bring that woman comes and she sees the reality, how can you change her? Because she already have a perception of life that she's going to live in diaspora.
Right.
And then you come here and you change and you see all these things. You are giving us that's the wrong message in the get-go.
Yeah.
Because you did not explain to her. Number one, you don't, and that's why I say that it has to be. And the Vicky said it. Do you guys have any relationship? Do you have any kind of come together that you guys come to? Because if I'm a boyfriend and girlfriend, we understand each other. I'm bringing you here, knowing that you have known the facts and the factors.
I need to shake tables, Obarade, before you go. Let me shake tables. Are you saying that if a man gets in the kitchen, change diapers, even after getting here, and help this woman, are you saying this is a guarantee that this woman will not leave after coming to Yankee?
It's not a human being is not guaranteed. Allah, we are not guaranteed of anything. Put that in your head. We are not guaranteed of anything. But I'm saying this to a lot of men. Certain things that you take for granted, that you think that we bring from our culture, you cannot walk in this society. Your wife, she's not your servant. She's not a slave. She's not a slave. She's your partner, for crying out loud. So therefore, you have to walk in that mentality of partnership. Do you see? You get my what I'm saying?
I get it.
Financial is good. It's excellent. But there's other factors that you have to bring into it that makes the relationship, that makes what we call a marriage work. Because for me, I tell you, I'm taking for example for me. I'm not. I'm talking from wisdom or from experience.
Experience,
yes. I found out that I didn't marry to a Nigerian, but I found out that the other factor that I see in a lot of my fellow African men that exhibit that I show, we don't. Sometimes that's why I question: do we show romance? Do we, as men? No, I've never seen with my friend. I've never seen my father take his wife's leg and rub it. Oh, sorry, I know you'll be working that day. Welcome home. I've never experienced it. But guess what? For me as a man, I know what I need to do to calm my wife down. Because I, as a man, in my own thinking and in my own change of what I realized in the relationship, and I don't know what I'm at, I say this, and I always tell my children who are grown, make your house your sanctuary. Sanctuary in the sense that when you turn on the key to get into your house, you come into peace.
I got too much.
You see, the key function of a man in life is for him to have a peace in his house. He's going to function better in the society.
So now here's a question for you: who is responsible for this peace of mind?
Both of you.
You say what?
Yes, both of you.
What about when that fail? What about when? What if the whole idea of a simultaneous both of us fails?
Well, that's me. There's something wrong in that relationship. That I mean, it may be good at the beginning, but eventually, because that's one thing I want you to know. And when the relationship started getting freaking and tension, there's one point I want you to carry out to know today. That's what we call trust, faith, all right, and loyalty. When these three words comes into relationship and is questionable, my brother, you're in trouble. Trust, faith and loyalty. Because
Trust,
when
faith,
your
and
woman-
loyalty.
yes, when your woman trusts you that you're going out there,
Uh-huh.
there's no issue.
So let me you're shooting a lot of bullets at me, but who is responsible for the trust that your wife is going to bring?
It's both of you, Ola. Both of you are responsible. Both of you are accountable to each other. There's no if and but.
Okay.
Because when you are saying, I should be accountable to my wife,
Uh-huh.
and then she's thinking, oh, my wife should be accountable to me, or that the trust. No, it's like a you guys. It's like two people are into a intertwined situation. Like one thing is not for the other, but you guys are working in conjunction. It's just like a car.
Mm-hmm.
Every engine part has a purpose, but all of the
Yeah, but if the car is already running, I don't know
Yes.
if cars still have alternators right now.
Yeah, no,
Right?
They have
And-
fuel injector and a lot of battery, what we call EV.
Yeah, right. I'm not paying attention to that. All I know is that cars used to have alternator and battery. If the car is already running, right? If the battery fails, you can
But
still
what
get
I'm
to the
saying that,
mechanic's
Ola,
house.
is the mechanism. Let's look at the whole totality of mechanism of the car, because
Right.
the car don't function without the other. And
No,
that's
but
what we need.
I get that. But there are going to be points
Yeah.
in the life of that vehicle. So that vehicle is not going to work perfect
Yes.
all the time.
And that's what I'm saying.
Uh-huh.
That is what I'm saying, that it's not going to work perfectly
Right.
at a certain point of life.
Right.
But it depends on how your relationship come into fruition. Because
Right.
sometimes you find that your wife will be the one to lift up, the others lift you up.
In a perfect relationship, sir,
Yeah.
I agree with everything you said,
Yeah.
except
but-
that there is no such thing.
There's no such thing. But what I'm saying is that we as human beings, we have we have our individual what do you call it, in the genuity of humanity in us, that there's a failure in us. There's no doubt about it. There's a failure in everybody. But what we're talking about today, especially with the situation of the bringing your wife and requesting the divorce. But what I'm saying is that you going to Nigeria, what is your mission? This woman that you bring in, do you explain yourself to her? Does she know you? Because a lot of time, I'm telling you, I'm talking from wisdom of what happened to my own brother.
Right.
He just went home thinking that he got to the age he needs another woman. When he leaves the other woman here, and he went home and got another woman.
Right.
It became toxic. It became toxic. Especially when you know that, because number one, the woman that you went to Nigeria with, you have certain profiles. You already have a profile for you. You already put yourself in a certain way. And that's the picture she has in her brain. And then for her to come here, it's going to be, let's be fair, Ola. It's going to be fair. What about you? Because I always tell men sometimes that, why don't we put ourselves put ourselves in the shoe,
Right.
with the woman.
Right.
I call it out. Yeah. How do we get to that point of we need to put ourselves in the shoe of a woman and see where the pain is. And that way, what we call sometimes, that's what I call, you need to understand what we call you can take
All right.
let me take
Yeah, let me play the next clip.
Go
ahead,
can
go
I
ahead.
chime in?
Go ahead,
Yeah, can I chime
Ramen.
in?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Feel free to interject, by the way. Feel free to interject.
Okay. But see something, like I said at first, right? If you
Yeah.
know that you're 40 and 50 years old, me
Right.
and you, we're all here in America, right?
Right.
And we
Is that me or that's you? Is that just him? We lost him, right? Victoria, brother Patrick, can you hear me? Okay, let's just hope that's not just me.
Yeah, we can hear you. I think he has connectivity issues.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, that's him. Let me just go ahead and play the next part of the.
Nothing but pride.
Let me
On
go
the
ahead
other
and
hand,
play
for
the next
an
part
average
of it.
woman or the poor
Let's see. Okay, so let's play this part. I want to hear your take on this. I got 2 more clips to play. Okay. So.
Count it as your loss.
Like, it's your responsibility to
Sorry, I
help
have to
me.
pause you for a second. I have a call from the UK. It's been holding for a while. Yinka, are you still there?
Good morning to everybody.
Morning, you're
in the
live.
studio.
Go ahead, please.
Good morning. This is a very big topic.
Yeah.
And I want us to please look at it in so many areas.
Okay.
The ones that they've mentioned, including your caller. Are you with me? But these are periphery of the problem that happened. In UK especially, you know, Nigerian girls, especially Nigerians, both sides, men or women, I will not lie here. These are people that believe they are in the Queen's country. So they are free to do whatever they like. And let me tell you, the extended family contributed a lot of error to a relationship in an advanced country. Oh, what is your husband doing there? What is your wife doing there? Oh, you need to do a thing better. And another thing, to our ladies, it is those men in the street that convince them and confuse them. They will be telling them they can bring moon from the sky for them. They will ask them to leave their husband's house. Not education, not supporting. You know, here we work with one another. We have the same responsibility. But let me tell you, home training is the most important factor here.
All right, so let's all right, so let's get back to this. Brother Ben, you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
All right.
No, what I was just saying before, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're a man and you're 40 and you're 50-year-old, and you start going back to Nigeria and you go and get those young girls, you have to keep in your mind, you have to keep yourself fit, and you have to think about your sexual health, because that's another factor. That's what those young girls is checking, you know, like you just one round and you turn over and sleep and snore. They'll say, what is wrong? And they're not getting the better stick. They're not getting the better
end of the stick.
Yes. Yeah, end of the stick. Yeah, they're not. You're paying the bills. Yes, they understand all those things, but you have to keep up with them, you know, sexually. So you know, that's a lot of factors. You know, if you go to a lot of parties, you see those young girls. They're starving sexually.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're starving. Yeah, because this one is an old man. He cannot produce. He cannot do anything for her. And then she starts looking outside. Then her options are opening. Then she now says, okay, you know what? I want a divorce. And that's how it starts.
Yeah. Okay. What do you, Victoria, do you agree with that?
Yeah, that's a possibility. Like I said, it's not one thing.
It's not one thing.
He's leaning more towards the sexual part, which is extremely important. And then somebody else talked about finances. And I think you talked about finances as well, like the whole 50-50 thing and informing the girl before she gets here.
Right.
And then I think Mr. Ade talked about like other things as well, like emotional. It's just a lot of factors, which is why to me, I think just really knowing each other and friendship and you know what I mean? Because there are people that bring people from Nigeria and it works out. There are a lot of them. But for what I've seen from those people is that they're actually friends. This
they're friends.
Yeah, they're friends. They're on the same wavelength. They get each other. Their values are aligned, and where there are gaps, they get each other so well that the gaps are not overarching. It's not.
So Victoria, right? Victoria. Earlier, Brother Ben, you still there with me? Earlier, he said he's the type of guy that he doesn't want. Can you say it the way you said it? You don't what you don't want about your wife. Can you say it the way you said it back then?
Okay, about the wife mingling with other
right. You like
women.
To keep your wife private, something like that.
Yeah. Like sometimes we guys, right, and here in the diaspora, right, we don't want those girls that are in the groove. We like incognito women out from outside that you don't know too much about them. Do you understand what I'm saying now? Like so like that. If I'm coming to a party right now, who's that girl? oh, we don't know anything about her. I like it that way.
You like it? Okay, all right. So hold on.
You don't
So
know too much
Victoria,
about
what do you have to say to that, Victoria? Victoria, you still there? Let me see. She's still here. She's here. Victoria. Victoria, where are you? I made him say that because I wanted you to speak to that. Okay. All right. No worries. She'll come back. She probably have a bad connection as well. All right. So let me play this last part of the video, and then, again, keep in mind we're talking about men that go to Nigeria. They bring a wife here. They chop breakfast, and now it's become a talking point, right? And everyone is saying, "Hey, don't go to Nigeria. Don't go and marry." Right? Everybody's generalizing, right? Now, these ladies on this show, they were trying to support men on this particular show. They made sure, they actually said in the beginning, they wanted to make sure it's not a man bashing session. They wanted to speak to it from a very objective standpoint. So that's why you see that they're not speaking too much of the other side of the coin. But let me play this last part of the, and then we'll take it from
because maybe their father betrayed their mother, or they come from polygamous background. They give different reasons.
Okay,
they will
can
not
I
allow
take
that
some
chance.
Yes, YK. Let me take
Oyi.
Yeah, go ahead, YK.
The issues of betraying their spouse in abroad is so common, especially with Nigeria. It happened to my uncle Andrew in Streatham. Adafunema, for generations past, African women have always been outspoken. Very true. Billy Kiss says, Auntie Yenny, there's a difference between submission and subjugation, ma. Those women who also might have men who aren't so egoistic like our men. An average African man thrives on being in charge and control of finance. They can't manage a woman's financial independence. Africans are outspoken.
Let me take this call from Germany. Onyi, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Good
You're
morning,
live. Go
Mariah.
ahead, please.
Let me see.
Okay, I greet you all. Thank you all for the good job you're doing.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, what you guys are discussing this morning is there are so many layers to it. Okay. When I'll say we, because I've done this before. When we come home to marry our women there or any girl there and bring them over here, there are things that are involved. Like for me, I've been married to a white lady for maybe 16 years. I came to Germany when I was 20, have 2 kids. We finished. I thought, okay, I'll go to Nigeria, get a woman there, who has my culture and all that. But also, when we come here, we've lived with these white people. We've had a different kind of mentality, okay? So when you bring a woman here, you should also know that this woman is also going to be exposed to some certain things.
All right. Just make that point right there. Brother Patrick, are you there? Let's see who's with me. All right. We have Brother Patrick. We have Brother Ben, you there?
I'm here, my brother.
Yes,
All
I'm here.
Okay, all right. Let's go with Brother Patrick first, right? That gentleman, did you hear what he just said?
Yeah, I heard it.
Okay, all right, good. What do you have a little bit of a slight difference? Let's bring it down to 3 things, right? There's nothing wrong with going to Nigeria and marrying a fine woman out of Nigeria and bringing her to come and do life with you in Yankee. There's nothing wrong with that, period, right? But let's talk about, give us 3 things that you feel they should pay attention to so they don't end up with this terrible end of the story, because these stories are unique stories. That's not the story of majority of people. There are a lot of people that do it successfully. It's just that we tend to hear the negative ones. They are much more louder in the social media for obvious reasons. How do we, Brother Patrick, 3 things that anybody who wants to still do this, that they can do to make sure they don't become another loud minority on the internet?
Number 1, you make sure when you get to Nigeria, you are not marrying fake. So that people will not use you as a jackpot. I'm serious.
Finesse. Yes, so.
They are out there. They just want to use you as jackpot. As soon as they get their paper, they are done. Yes. Make sure it's authentic, just like you are going to the embassy. to get a traveling visa. Meanwhile, you know, say you want jackpot.
Abi.
Yes.
That's so true, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be funny, but then that's the truth.
Yep.
Yes, like we all said, you don't want to go there to just go and show your affluent that you have money when
Right.
you are still struggling here. It is what you are looking for that you will get, brother. Yes, you can't just go to Nigeria and just grab a girl and come. You just have to know the girl. It's an investment. You can't rush into it. It doesn't work that way. And you must know the family you want to get married. You know, that's still very relevant, brother.
All the things you normally do should be done.
Yes, that doesn't guarantee that it's going to be, successful, but it has to be done. You know what I'm saying? So that, yes, make sure you know the girl. Let people tell you about know the family, know the parents.
Yep.
Whether you like it when you come here, there's still going to be struggle. But when the foundation is genuine, yeah, it's going to, everybody has his own struggle. I had my own struggle, even though my wife and I came here. We are in serious struggle. But you know the family that it comes from, the mother will always say, "Not so many to one share." You can put it in English, brother. Yes.
Remember the child of who you are. Yeah, where you're coming from.
By the time
Yes.
you are getting married to a girl, all the sisters are divorced. That's a red flag. Yes. That's a red flag.
Yes.
Yes, 60% of such. I mean, it's not gonna. I'm not being general. I don't want to generalize it. But
No,
yes.
you're not being generalized. No, don't even worry about that.
Yes.
Trust me. I'll let you know if you are.
Yes. And the parents are saying, bring it that, some parents, all what they need is money. They don't care. Bring it.
I mean, at that point, you should know that's all types of red flag, especially if she's not stopping them.
And you, like everybody, you know what you want. Bro, like, you know what you want.
Right.
Don't be carried away by beauty. You understand? Marriage is a process. You guys still have to learn. Man, what do you mean? How many general overseers don't divorce? Despite
Divorce happens everywhere. This whole thing.
I'm not. That's not what. But then, before you go into it, so that get that attack.
Yes.
I tell you, before I got married, all of our friends that we thought they were serious Christians. Some were we thought that, man, these people that are married is going to be successful for life. Some of them are divorced. So. We that are even struggling, say, well, God will help us, so we still there. The Bible says, by strength shall no man prevail. It's not by power, neither by might, but by the Spirit. It's God. You have to put in something.
Right.
And when you bring her here, don't expect her to be, she's not going to be a dummy. Forget it.
Yeah, because that's not sustainable. And some people will now say, I'm going to make sure she's a dummy. I'm going to make sure I'm able to control my woman. Dude, you will just kill yourself.
Let me end. Women are the kind of people that can endure, but they are looking for time that they will revenge. They are not fools.
Sometimes it takes years. Sometimes it takes 8, 9, 10, 11 years before they pull that guy.
Yeah, by the time they begin to deal with you, it goes smell pepper.
And usually all the while they're oblivious. They're like, oh, she just started that out of nowhere. She just suddenly asked for divorce. Dude, she divorced you 5 years ago.
Did they pile everything somewhere? Like that she go react. You go say, oh my God. So, and it has to do with you yourself.
Right.
When you go to Nigeria, who do you?
Uh-oh. Papa Patrick, don't leave me. Don't leave me. Okay. It's back.
Sorry.
All right.
Who do you mingle with? God will help us. So.
God will help us. So. God will help. But Ben, 3 things that you think men should pay attention to if they find themselves. There's nothing wrong with going to Nigeria or to Brazil to go find quote unquote traditional feminine woman, right? What are 3 things you think you should pay attention to?
You mean pay attention? What 3 things they should pay attention?
Yeah,
to,
give them
right?
3 tips. Give me 3 tips so they don't get finessed.
So they don't get finesse. Well, yeah, watch the mother.
The mother.
Yeah, watch the mother because you can tell how she was brought up by watching the mother. If the mother is very disrespectful, she's gonna be disrespectful to you. 2, her family foundation. Like maybe are you going into a very strictly poor family where she might be the breadwinner, so she has a lot of expectations to do. 3, oh man, this is I mean, I just feel 3, you just have to, as you're giving her the story, telling her the truth, giving her the introduction of America, letting her know that, look, she's not only going to be doing the cooking, I'm going to be doing the cooking also. Because we have to share those domestic values. You have to give it to her there. Give her the introductory in Africa before she comes.
She should see that in action.
Yeah, she should see that in action. Like cook jollof, cook egusi, cook obono, cook ofu onubu.
So she doesn't think she can just come here and show you any.
No, because one of the reasons why they're gonna leave you. Oh, I'm gonna leave him. He can't do nothing for himself. When you're self-sufficient for yourself, they will think twice of leaving you. They know a man that can cook can get any woman. No type of woman that you can't get.
That's a big tip. That's a big tip for gentlemen out there. Right.
Yeah, for gentlemen out there. So make sure you're self-sufficient also for yourself. But those 3 things: watch the mother. Be honest. I can't really say the 3rd thing because you're just going to Nigeria to get her. So I don't know the red flags. Not how she's dealing with other people because she can pretend for you, but be prayerful.
Prayerful. Okay.
Be prayerful.
Wait. There's something you said you can't say. Why can't you say it? Say it now.
Say what? In terms of what?
He said there's something that you can't say right now because you're just going.
No, I forgot.
Oh, you forgot. All right.
Yeah. I'm just saying. I'm just saying you just gotta be prayerful. If you're prayerful before you get into that relationship, you'll see the signs. Every big thing has a small beginning. Like sometimes, sometimes when you're dating the woman in Nigeria, she might make a comment, and you'll just act like you didn't hear it, but you put it on your mental Rolodex.
You should pay attention to that.
You pay attention. Just watch, observe. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
yes,
I hear that. All right, that's a nice one. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. You're always welcome to come and chop it up with me anytime.
No problem, brother.
Thank
you, bro.
All right, my guy. All right, good. Bro Patrick, thank you so much for hanging out with me again today. I appreciate you as usual. Thank you for always supporting. I appreciate you because your wisdom is priceless. So I appreciate you on that. But this was another classic we have. I think a lot of people will get a lot of lessons. What I appreciate about this is that I bring a lot of knowledge, right? To particularly, maybe even at this point we can call them textbook knowledge because I do have a book, right? But I think we gain more when we have the conversations, right? Because I also have a blind spot, so it's very important that we continue to have this conversation this way, so I definitely want to appreciate all the panelists, Brother Ade, Brother Patrick, Brother Ben, and I appreciate you, Victoria. Thank you so much for coming to make the conversation even much more colorful, right? All right, so let me see here. Okay, LJ, is this IJ? I think IJ. Okay, IJ, is this Ijeoma? Or is just another IJ? He or she says, men should not paint a rosy picture of abroad to the women back home. I think it's tough, and I'll tell you why it's tough, right? But she says, in fact, they should try to tone down the expectation. Let me tell you something. You see how dark skinned I am? I'm as dark as they come, right? When I enter Nigeria, people they see Oyinbo inside this thing. Cause see me, they can tell. I don't know how, but they just can't tell. Sometimes I'm even mixing with my friends, try to throw in pidgin, whatever. They can tell. So imagine somebody, I've been consistently living in the United States for 25 years. And I show up in Nigeria and I'm trying to tone down. Exactly what am I trying to tone down? Now, in that equation, where do we want to put being your true self? This is, because at the end of the day, you want to be authentic, because that's one of the tips that Brother Patrick just gave us. And I agree with it 100%, right? So somebody says, "This what Africa is the smell." Oh. It's not the smell. Oh. Smell it. Whatever it is, you might be right. But whatever it is, they can tell that, this one, right? This one is not part of this thing we have going on here, right? And I don't think that's a good enough reason to not go and pick a wife in Nigeria. If I want to pick a wife in Nigeria, I think I should be able to pick a wife in Nigeria. There's nothing wrong with that. And I would even go ahead and tell you that you can still be your true self, and you can pick a wife from anywhere in the world. The problem is this: if you going to Nigeria or Brazil, it's a way for you to avoid women where you live. You will get finessed. It's a fact of life. It's just a matter of time before you prove me right. You will get finessed. If you're being your true self, if they need to rob you, they will rob you instantly. So it's not about robbing you. It's about people that are willing. It's about getting entrapped by people that are willing to present a good picture for 2, 3, 4, 5 years before they serve you breakfast. Or for those of you that don't know, serve you breakfast means you get dumped. Okay? These are some of the things I'm talking about. Okay? Now, he wants fresh meat, not the one that has history in the community. Yvette, it's important to meet the grandparent also of that lady, especially if he goes to Brazil looking for a wife, especially the one going to Brazil, right? Because don't be surprised, you may just end up having a 304, a person that works at, what they call it, that works at what does Coach Greg call it? A nursery home or something like that, right? You would take them home as a wife, and they haven't been home in a long time, right? A lot of men are going to get finessed in these third world countries. It's a fact of life, particularly because they have this mindset that the grass is greener on the other side. It's a mindset. Does that exonerate disrespectful women in the Western world? No, I'm saying you should pay attention to why you've been attracting disrespectful women in the Western world. It's you, especially if you have so many stories about disrespectful women. It's you, bro. It's you. Okay? I don't know how to tell you. It is you. Of course, the same thing is true vice versa if you're a woman. All these men are just disrespectful in Yankee. It's you. It's you. It's something about you. And I can guarantee there's a good chance you're not asking questions. You're just concluding off of your terrible experiences. You're not asking. You're saying, what does he know? He's been married for 15 years. He can't tell me shit. Right? Like you don't even know what you don't know. Right? Cultural language is quite different. Prayerful. You gotta be prayerful. Right? See, here's the thing. I think the same things you have to do if you meet a girl right across the street, right over there in McDonald's, right? Or you meet her online and you take a trip to Nigeria or Ghana or Brazil to go meet her. It's the same checklist you have to go through. Whatever that checklist is. It starts with discernment. How do you learn how to discern? You work on yourself. Brother Patrick says something. Light begets light. Light cannot stay in darkness. There's some things that just can't hang around you too long. Okay? Once you work on yourself to a certain level, some things just won't last around you. That's the fact. Some things are just not going to last around you. Okay? Oh, are you saying there are no evil people in this world? Are you saying there is no unruly, disrespectful women in this world? Hola, there are unruly, disrespectful people in the world. Stop the cap and stop sipping and pandering, motherfucker.
Oh, you're right.
You're right. You're still right. Nonetheless, your outcomes are still terrible and they will be worse. You will get finessed in a third world country. That's a fact. We just gotta wait for it. Okay? We just gotta wait. I'm not in a hurry. I am not in a hurry. That's where these stories are coming from. Now, to the people that actually brought their wife here, they were actually married, they're doing well, they've been married. Those exist too. That's why generalizations are terrible. It's not just people that went to pick a wife in Nigeria. I know quite a few stories. As a matter of fact, somebody just told me a story. I'm going to tell you that story. Okay? This was all 3 days ago. Just 3 days ago. And he shared with me, he said, hey, there are many men, I know way too many men struggle when this woman come here, they become a nurse, they start making money, and they just divorce. He said it very shortly, like it was somebody else's story. Like it was not a big deal, right? He said it like, it's just somebody else's story. Of course, we had to work together the following day. Eventually, I keep telling you I'm patient. I'm not in a hurry. I'm not going to ask you questions or be condescending and then so that you can tell me everything. I'm not in a hurry, okay? As a matter of fact, you may never tell me. In fact, I could be wrong and I'm okay with being wrong. But guess what happened? The following day, he used his own mouth to tell me he was talking about himself. People can't relate with your bullshit like that. It's your story that you're telling. You're able to relate in one shape, form, or the other. That's the fact. And some of us have that level of patience until you tell us the truth. Right? And we're okay if it was all a lie, like you were telling the truth all the while. And we prejudge you. Do I prejudge people sometimes? It's very rarely. But it's possible. I'm human too. But it's very rarely because I'm even patient. I'm not even telling you what I'm thinking yet. In the back of my mind, yes, I do prejudge people. Are you kidding me? I do prejudge people. The moment they open their mouth, they say what they want to say. I know where they're going because of the biases are all over their words. You could tell that they could relate with the story they're trying to tell in third person. So this particular example story I just told you is actually a person that was married for 14 years in Nigeria. By the time they got here, to Yankee here, okay? Literally, they got here, they started living in Ohio. Divorce happened. 3 years, lost his family. So he's telling me a story right now. The fact that he was telling me that story in that manner tells me everything I needed to know about what transpired in that marriage. He wasn't ready. It wasn't necessarily his fault, because fault is not even relevant. You don't know what you don't know. He wasn't ready. He was the sole provider. He brought the money. In fact, the only value he brought to the table when they were in Nigeria was financial. He just didn't realize that it wasn't a big deal once you enter a Yankee world, the world of abroad. He didn't realize that at some point we're going to need more. Yvette, you came late. You did. You do have to listen, right? It's a mindset. Vice versa for men and women. Everything I say here easier said than done. And yes, definitely vice versa for men and women. Okay? But I pay attention to the person that's listening to me, the person that's complaining actively at that point in time. It doesn't matter if it's men, it doesn't matter if it's woman. Okay? But you know what they all tend to do? If it's a woman, they say, why are you taking sides with the men? If it's the men, even their own is worse, because it's the worst thing to see a feminine man not having a hard time being held accountable. It's the worst thing ever. You see what I'm saying? So it's one of the things we have to pay attention to. Okay. All right. So here are a couple of things I wanted to share with you. I shared that story with you. The point is that there's something unique about if this happened to you or happened to someone you know, there's something unique about that marriage. There's something particular about their story that made that happen. Okay? Because it's happened to a few other people doesn't mean it's all the same exact story. Okay? I mean, there are quite a few number of tens of thousands of Nigerians coming to the United States from time to time. Couples. You're not just going to say, hey, all of them are going to be divorced. At that point, you're capping big time. Okay? At that time,
Stop the cap.
You're capping big time. Okay? You're not engaging people that will tell you that you're full of shit and there's something that happened and you need to learn the lesson before you move on to somebody else. Okay? So it can happen to people that just went to go and pick a wife. It can happen to people that actually brought a full-blown family that they already had. It can happen. But there's some common principles that I want to share with you that can make it happen. Well, we already know for a fact it's two different contests. We've said that a few times. Everyone on the panel agree with that. It's two different contests. And if you're oblivious to the fact that it's two different contests, right, which includes the fact that your value right now is no longer financial because she can provide for herself. If you miss that, you will chop breakfast. Oh yes, you won't see it coming because this is a wife. Remember, you've been together for 12, 14, 8, 19 years. So you never see this coming, right? But I'm telling you, remember what Brother Patrick said. There are resentments. Like in every marriage, like in every relationship. Those things will rise to the surface the moment she realizes that she has options. Yes, potentially she can exercise those options. What are you talking about? Is it her fault?
Well, you're right.
Whatever, if you think it's her fault. But guess what? You still lost your family, and that's what we should be talking about. We should be talking about how you lost your family and how it shouldn't happen to you ever again. Because you deserve better. You deserve to be able to see your kids anytime you want to and raise your kids in the same household. So this could be you. How do you prepare for this? How do you prepare for this? That's really what we should be talking about. It has nothing to do with if she's evil or if she's any of that. Listen, I'm talking about things that's true across the board right now. Okay? With that being said, like Brother Adi said, nothing is guaranteed in life. But I'm telling you, you will increase your chances of never being on this receiving end of the stick where you chop breakfast just because you lack emotional intelligence. What is emotional intelligence? You have to master your own emotions. There's a good chance you didn't need that in Nigeria because after all, you were the provider. She needed you. She needed you now. Oh, it looked like love. She told you she loved you, everything. Well, a woman needs to feel safe and secure. That includes financial security. If you're taking care of that and you're missing out on everything else, your mouth is nasty, your mouth is like a little weapon, you're talking anyhow to her, she might decide to stay with you and have a couple of babies for you because she doesn't really have a choice. When you bring her to Yankee, both of you celebrate. Like, new world, I'm a nurse. I can read. I can study more and increase my earning potential. Of course, both of you will agree that we should do this. But wait until you start argument about why didn't you pay that bills? Why did you pay the bill too fast? Where are all these boxes coming from? And she was like, Oga, I just bought a little shemi there. I can't buy shoes, right? And then you overreact because you think you're still in Nigeria. And then she will now react like a woman who knows that she has options. Like, dude, you can't talk to me like that. They come in different shapes and forms. Some of them will be quiet. They'll do what they have to do. They'll just disappear from the house before you come back. Some of them will cry for years before they actually still execute that breakfast for you. And then you turn around and say, all these women are leaving their husband. Dude.
Stop the cap.
You chop breakfast. Your wife left you. Your wife left you. That's what we should be talking about. Don't worry about that. It's happened to 1,000 other people. That has nothing to do with you. It happened to you. Okay? The reason why it happened to you, there's a reason why it happened to you. You need to do the work and find out before you jump into another marriage, because it will repeat itself, just in a different form. This time around, she might just start to stay with you and punish you by not giving you sex for the next 3 years. Listen, the same issues show up in different forms. It's the same issues, okay? It comes down to the same issues, okay? Now, if you understand this and you take responsibility for what I'm talking about, which doesn't mean you're taking fault, you take responsibility for the direction of your life, the chances that this will never happen to you has increased dramatically. Listen, nothing is out there on the street for anybody. All I'm asking you is a little patience. She's going to say some things. You can tell her, hey, you have options. It's about how you react to that. It's about how you respond to it. It's everything. It's about how you respond and react to crisis. Crisis is inevitable for every single one of us. It just comes in different form depending on the story of your life. As a man especially, it's about how you respond to crisis. That's what it comes down to. I'm not going to paint a picture that's perfect. Shout out to Barade for saying it's both ends, both ends. The reality is that in real life, there's no such thing. It's complementary most of the time. Meaning, sometimes one side is lifting one side, sometimes it's the other side. Like that. That's the reality of life. Sometimes, even though when she felt like she was trusting you, you're going to feel feelings that she doesn't trust you. Sometimes when she's trying to bring peace, you're receiving it as, this woman don't worry me again. I'm just trying to bring peace. But this is trouble as far as how it feels on your end. You're just being human. There's nothing weird about you. You're just being a human being. Alright? But if you don't understand that, you will react like it's an attack. Like somebody's attacking you, right? And when you react to an attack, what does that look like? You're defensive. What does defensive feels like on the other end? It's offensive. Then you start to hear it's controlling. You said this is narcissistic. All the while, you didn't mean any harm. You're just trying to defend yourself. It felt like an attack, right? It's complementary. That's the reality. Everything is complementary. Okay? There are going to be days that you feel like you want to talk about it. There are going to be days that the other person doesn't feel like. In fact, it's not there are going to be days. Every day, one person is lifting the other person. And vice versa. And it's a continuous thing. It's a continuous thing until it becomes second nature and nobody's thinking about it. And then it feels like a perfect idiom. It's a feeling. It's not perfect. Because there are things that somebody will observe from the outside. And they will like, I will never take that. But now you understand the value you're getting out of that situation. See, if you're disconnected from the idea that this is all feelings. But I did say something. He said, let's be fair. I wish he was here. He had to leave. So I can say it together. And we can talk about it together. But I'm sure it will come back some other day. Life is not fair. Not for men. It's not the reality. Oh, by the way, that makes it by default all fair for us because life is not fair for everyone. It's already fair. The idea I'm sharing with you is that there are going to be things, moments where you feel like life is not fair. How you respond to those moments is everything. You can't afford to overreact. Listen, the easiest thing to do when you brought your wife all the way from Yankee to here and you sold your house, all the house you work, because now you work tired, now all those years, right? The easiest thing to do is overreact. Precisely what you shouldn't do. Because you will lose everything now, including your family and your children, if you overreact. It's deeper than being fair. It's deeper than both of us. That doesn't exist. Okay? Both of us is a product. It's a product of attraction and friendship. Thank you that Victoria said friendship. When you're friends with your spouse, you apply so much grace that you just won't apply. You won't have the patience to apply to another person. Like who's them? You're not giving no random grace unless you really like that person. Why are we talking about grace? Because sometimes they need it. Sometimes they're not meeting their own other end of the equation. Forget all that. Many times you need that grace. You need that grace. Sometimes you're not just there as a human being, and you need her to give you some grace. Like, dude, I'm not perfect. Today, babe, I'm not there. I need you to give me a pass today. Do you have enough in the love tank? Have you deposited enough over time in that love tank? Are you even aware that this is a thing, or you think, no, both of us should shoot? No, that doesn't exist. It might feel like that after years upon years. Brother Ade has been married for years, right? So is Brother Patrick, right? It might feel like that, but you know how much work goes into that over the years for it to start to feel like it's not second nature. We just love each other. We give each other grace. You know, in fact, some night I slept off on the couch, she knows how to come and wake me up and say, okay, let's come inside, baby. Or she knows that, oh, I'm too sleepy. I'm not even willing to wake up, right? You see the picture I'm painting? So if you go to Nigeria, you pick up a wife, or you marry your wife, you bring her here. Listen, change of environment. Things are going to get shaken up. The dynamics are going to change. That's going to feel like crisis on both ends, not just yours. Some people do fight, the other people do flight. Some people will run away, some people will engage you and fight you. It's all fight. As a man, how you respond to that is everything. Majority of the time, it's about not responding. It's about not thinking it's deeper than it actually is. It doesn't mean you're becoming a doormat. That's not what that means. It just means you're able to see beyond any moment. You have foresight. You realize that this is just a feeling, temporary. Everybody try to adjust, but you stay on your throne as the king of that goddamn castle, and you make sure you don't leave your throne to come and be petty argument over money. Worst case scenario, create joint account, create different demarcations. Come up with something. Have her come up with something. Controlling behavior, manipulative behavior, all of that stuff is not going to work. I'll tell you right now, up front. I'll tell you right now, up front. I'm laughing because my laugh is not real, okay? It's because I have this weird capability to see beyond just how people feel in the moment, and I'm trying to push it out. So that's why, because this is not funny. This is people's life taken away from them, everything they've ever known. Not just for you that you chop big breakfast. Remember that woman that left. Remember that she's been harboring years upon years of pain. It doesn't mean it's your fault. Calm down. That's what I'm saying. When you get hit with crisis, how do you respond? How do you react to it? Is everything. You don't learn anything when everything is perfect. You're not learning shit when things are perfect. As a matter of fact, it's a setup for failure. If anybody paints any type of perfect picture for you or a formula for perfection, it's a setup for failure. Tomorrow, that thing I want is going to cover tonight, we don't have time for it. Tomorrow, we're going to cover it. I'm going to be right back here at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. I think that's 12 midnight in Yankee and Nigeria. Because there's more to this. Ladies, listen, I understand you want to help. The way you can help is really, really to focus on the roles of women, particularly within our romantic relationships. There's a big reset going on. There's going to be a lot of casualties. Some people go just die lonely. That's the reality. Nobody else will tell you that. Other people will tell you, hopeful, yes will happen to us. I'm telling you, some people are just going to die lonely. That's the reality. A lot of it is going to have to do because they don't listen. Not only because they don't want to listen, they are not capable of listening. Let me see what I love your lines. My daughter said I shouldn't say tap the cap. It's stop the cap. Stop the cap. Brother Patrick, like stop the capping. It will still collect water. Exactly. ABO, good to see you. The streets are rough everywhere. Gentlemen, you can't afford to get set up by women who are quote unquote advocating for men. They can't relate. I can relate. It's your responsibility. I'm talking about romantic, emotional matters now. I'm not talking about real. I'm not talking about building a freaking construction building. I'm talking about romantic issues. It's your responsibility if you're complaining, even if you're a woman. It becomes your responsibility the moment you start to complain. But especially if you're a man. Because I'm a man and I can relate. And I can tell you that it's easier, just like it is for you. It's easier also for me to point fingers at other people and say it is their fault. But that's how you start to destroy yourself. Okay? We are complex. Anything I say on this platform is easier said than done. Always remember that. Okay, I will find a place where everybody can see it. You make it sound so simple. Like, yeah, dude, I'm telling you, anything I say here is easier said than done. But guess what? It gets easier with time. You know what that looks like? It's rewarding. Like, there's no reward in life that wasn't easier said than done. And the rule there's no such thing in life that's worthwhile, that doesn't take work. Crisis. There's no such thing as good thing in life that just fell out of the sky is perfect. It doesn't exist. Don't expect your spouse, your partner, to just make sure every day they are always holding their other end of the bargain. Focus on what you're giving into that relationship. And you will find out that equilibrium is undefeated. It's like the truth. Correction is undefeated. Things will correct itself the way it's supposed to correct if you focus on giving. Start by giving to yourself. All I want is if I give, and they don't give back. Dude, stop. Stop it. Give to yourself too. Instead of now, if you feel that way, instead of now buying that shoe for her, ordering that shoe for her from Amazon or wherever, order it for yourself. Give to yourself. You can't give what you don't have. That's why you're not receiving. You should focus on giving. That's how you receive. And when you give, you should be patient because there's seasons in everything that's worthwhile, especially if you've created damages in the past. Especially if you've overreacted, that created damages, you've run your mouth, you thought you had this. No, the one thing that women still can't get or give to themselves is emotional security. The only place they can still get that from is you. Meaning feeling emotionally safe and secure. They can't give that to themselves. There's no corporate company anywhere that's going to pay them. There's no six-figure job that's going to pay them that. So if you're still focused on, after I'm providing, I didn't ask her to go and do this, I told her to stay home, she refused to, now she's scared. All that nonsense is going to destroy your family. Why? Because you refused to be a man in 2022, which means you're able to understand context. Context matters. It's not what you say, fuck what you say. There's no truth in what you're saying. You're a liar like the rest of us. You don't, why? Because you can only see what you can see based off of your biases. The only truth is results, outcomes, time. Last, everybody go chop breakfast. That's the only truth that exists. A woman is saying, all these women, they are evil. And then you start laughing, you're enjoying yourself because a woman is finally saying it. You're full of shit. You will suffer. You will chop breakfast. That same woman, put her in a romantic context. She will show you what a woman is. Fast. Thank God that Victoria came on this stage to tell us the truth earlier. A woman will show you. A woman is a woman. Especially, quote unquote, the feminine, traditional, they present themselves as that. They are the worst. I just generalized, God damn it. They are the worst because they are presenting something that's not real. All of that shit will be tested, discombobulated in real life. There's gonna be a crisis. The moment your feminine woman decides to become masculine because she doesn't feel safe, you're gonna be like, I knew it. All this modern women are women. Ola said it about 10 years ago. You didn't. Maybe I told you. There are skill sets that you need to learn. They're not things that most people teach in parenting. They couldn't. They can't even teach you sex. They can't even teach you sex. I watched a video about hookup culture hurting men too. A lot is going on these days. Marriage rates are way down and population growth is threatened. There's a lot going on. The casualties are going to be bad. But the few that will end up in this type of videos will be just fine. Because the concept, the principles are the same. You're not that good. Okay? And you're not as bad as you think. It's about learning how to play this game of life. It's about learning game. It's about learning how to navigate. Okay? And part of that is to know that nothing is guaranteed. So you can be best prepared. Okay? Everything is emotional. Everything is driven by emotions, including all the stupid stats and data that everyone is posting all over the place. Those are old data, a reflection of someone's emotions before today. So if you discount the effect of emotions for both men and women, you go suffer. You will chop breakfast. It will be really bad because you just don't see it coming. You never see it coming. Like, people are perfect. They're just walking around this world. They should be just as perfect too, like me. You should walk a straight line. You should be, you should just do the right thing because I'm holding you accountable. You're full of shit. Excuse my French, of course. I think everybody knows I do, right? It's not going to work. This idea that people are perfect, you walk straight line, is not going to work. Look, just ask Will Smith. He walked a straight line for 30 years. Last, somebody chop slap for stage. There's no such thing as a perfect man. It's a setup. Why were we all so disappointed about Will Smith? Because it was Will Smith. It was that high. And then one day, because he lost his cool. It's how you react to crisis. Start practicing. When you go to Nigeria, you go bring your wife or you brought your wife and you chop breakfast. Learn from it. You're not evil. She's not necessarily evil. No, she could be evil, right? But that's not the lesson. The lesson is that what happened to me? How did that end up with an evil woman for this long? What's going on with me? I need to figure out what that is. That's called taking responsibility. That's not self-guilt. That's saying, let me look closer. Something was off, Yeah, I need to make sure I don't attract an evil woman. That's taking responsibility. By the way, if you keep saying evil woman, that will take over the energy, right? The evil thing is just that powerful. Let me tell you something. Your ex must be treated like a queen. I know. Somebody just got triggered. You just got triggered. What do you mean? You just keep pandering to this woman. Dude, I don't think your breakfast is enough yet. You will chop another one. You need to treat every woman equally. You treat every lady like a lady. And don't be so predictable. Don't be so predictable. The moment you show up in Nigeria, you are smelling. What is the most fanciest cologne that everybody is wearing Yankee now? The one you buy for $500, right? It's so predictable. Nothing wrong with smelling nice. I'm just saying, you better bring some other type of mystery effect. Because you're predictable, you will get finessed. It's no wonder you're getting finessed. You're predictable. Thank you, Victoria, again, for bringing that. I forgot the exact words you used. For bringing that to the forefront. You're telling on yourself. You run your mouth so much. They can't wait. They already know what you want. You want it like this, like this, like this, like this. So guess what a typical woman, even if she doesn't mean any harm, will do. If she likes you enough, she'll present like this, like this, like this. Right? And then you're like, oh, she changed. Dude, she was herself all the while. She was herself all through that time. Who's responsible for the peace? Brother Ade was right. He wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong. But when it comes to romantic settings, when it comes to attraction, when it comes to seduction, someone is sowing a seed Someone has to sow a seed. You can't harvest out of nowhere all simultaneously. Or the seed come together and the soil and then, oh, boom, agbado. No, that's not how that works. You will sow a seed. There will be seasons. It must be watered. It must be within the right context. It must be within the right environment, the right weather. And then, hopefully, rodents won't come and eat that shit up because nothing is guaranteed. And then later on, how long does agbado take to germinate and become agbado? You will start agbado season. You will start eating corn, beautiful, all everything, right? I'm not talking about the fertilized one in America. I'm talking about the regular, original one, right? It takes somebody has to sow a seed. The soil is there, right? It's the environment. There's all these other things, right? That's feminine, the nature. Multiply it. And then it becomes what we call sexual polarity. That's how it works in real life. Someone is always leading. You may not realize it. It may not make exact common sense, but it's the reality. It's how nature works. So if you want peace of mind, you better have peace in your life already. You better be sowing that seed. Because again, light begets light. I really, really like that. People are not just going to bring negative to you. If you're a peaceful person already. Who's responsible for the trust? Trust is a function of time and consistency. In a romantic relationship, when you both decide that you want to work on it, I can guarantee you it's because you're already in a situation already and you both are trying to work on things. But I've seen this fail all the time. I see this fail all the time. It's not enough for someone to choose to trust you. You need to earn it as well. Because it's not sustainable if they're just trusting you and your behavior is still bad. Per them. Right? If your behavior is still not congruent with what you claim to be. So again, time, consistency, right? But I would add decision to it. If you're already in that space, sometimes there's too much damages. You can't count on decision. Decision fallout, it's the same thing as intentions. Well, in the mud all the time. You need to understand the behind the scenes of everything that's going on behind us at the scene of our head. Not your intentions. Your intentions has limitations. Good intentions precisely can only go so far. Right? Very, very important to pay attention to. Your intentions, your good intentions can only go so far. Your good intention is a product of who you are, your culture, your religion, your surrounding, your environment, how you feel right now. Some of those variables could be wrong, can be off. Right? So you should always pay attention to the other person you're interacting with. Right? Why should they trust me? Am I consistent? That's a function of time, patience. Especially as a man. Okay, because the feminine energy, not women particularly, the feminine energy really don't give a shit about your feelings. It's just is beautiful. The exact thing we like about it is what we resent. It doesn't give a shit. It's like a painting. It's beautiful, but it's no structure. Particularly, you bring the structure. The masculine energy, particularly because of this social construct, bring the structure in a typical situation. If you miss this, you will just blame yourself again. Or blame the other partner and say, she didn't do what she was supposed to do. These women are not wives anymore. Are you sure about that? Some of us have wives at home. Very feminine. Right? But I take the credit for that. God damn it. I take the credit for that. There's a way I show up that allows her to be feminine. It helps at least. At the very minimum, it helps. Is good home training relevant here? Of course. Okay? Of course. But I think it's very surface. Okay? There are people with good home training, they will dump your ass. You will chop breakfast. Why? Because you don't know. You're predictable. You're boring. Or you don't know how to treat a lady. Ladies, there are men with good home training that will say, Omo, such a good girl, but I don't know if I can spend the rest of my life like this. Like this. Again, good intentions, we gotta put them where they belong. Good intentions is good. Honesty is good. Good home training is good. All these things, you know what? At the end of the day, with all this character, all these things.
You're right.
But it's not enough. People say love is not enough. No, all these other things are not enough. It depends on how you define love. If you mean the in-love experience, the infatuation, the butterfly in your stomach, you're absolutely correct. Of course, that's never going to be enough. That's temporary. Tomasha, see finish, go enter now. Right? It will enter. Yeah? So, very, very important to pay attention to. I like when Brother Patrick said, be real, be authentic. You know, if you smell nice and they can detail you're from America, but you also know that, hey, there's no guarantee that I'm in the village, suddenly going to find a wife. You just have that at the back of your mind. Being in the village or in Brazil doesn't mean guarantee wife. That's a stupid thing to ever say to yourself. You will get finessed. Just be real, be authentic. Know that there's wife everywhere. You can choose to say, you know what, I'd rather not play the games of Western women. Let me go to Nigeria. Let me go to Brazil. Let me go to Thailand. Maybe, I'll meet somebody with a different culture. But let me tell you something. You're setting yourself up because there's a good chance you don't know shit about that culture. Humans are humans. Innately, we're both good and evil at the same time. We're only out for what we want. Sometimes we don't even realize that we are evil. We're just trying to survive. This is another reason why that fails. Because you don't know what you don't know. I didn't know I was trying to hurt you. I was just trying to protect myself and take care of myself. A friend. This is the core of everything. A friend. Okay? A friend. There's 4 things that I want you to focus on if you're in a marriage or you're planning to be in a marriage. The 4 particular things that I want you to pay attention to. Let me see if I can find it. Yes. Okay, I found it. Okay, I call them the 4 posts or the 4 pillars, right, of marriage or romantic relationships, right? On the offense side of things, you want to play offense when it comes to sex and friendship. Okay? On the offensive side, now offense, not offense against your partner, but against all these different forces against your relationship. The offense side of things is to find your way to sex and friendship. It's very hard. It's easier said than done. Because when you've hurt yourselves, you're feeling like this person's not a friend. You forgot why they were a friend in the first place. Or they were never a friend, which is worse. I don't know how to help you with that one. To be honest with you, that's where I don't know how to help you. If you got with somebody romantically and they're not your friend, I really don't know how to help you. I don't have an opinion. I don't know how that, when people say arranging marriage is the one that worked the best, I'm like, these people don't know the problems that Indian people have. People run their mouth on the internet like mad, like stupid. But anyway, that's a different topic for another day. On the offensive side of things, as in offensive against the forces of evil that's actively trying to destroy your romantic relationships, sex and friendship, find your way to learn how to make it work. If you do that, everything else tends to fall in place. Everything else that you want tends to fall in place. Okay? On the defensive side of things, the two things that you have to play defense against: unrealistic expectations. That's number 1. Number 2, pride. Pride would destroy everything 100% of the time. Unrealistic expectations and pride. Did I say anything about not make more money than her? Or more money? I didn't say anything about it. None of that. Unrealistic, indifferent, irreconcilable differences, all this stuff. All this stuff are symptoms. They are recorded data. They are useless. Offense, sex, friendship. If you're playing the game of love, romantic partners, you play offense by making sure you find your way. Do everything in your power to learn how it works. Don't play it against your partner. That's stupid. You're on the same team. You and your partner are playing offense And the point of leverage here is sex and friendship. On the defense, you want to push unrealistic expectations away. That means you manage your expectations and you give your partner the freedom to express their expectations without getting offended or putting yourself on a pedestal that you can fulfill them. You don't have to fulfill them. They just need to feel free to express their expectations. All people need to do sometimes to feel free to express them.
Sir?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I have to vacuum for like 5 minutes.
I'll be done in 2 minutes, okay?
Okay, yeah, I'll wait.
All right, thank you. All right, so that's really, I can leave you with that. I think let's leave you with that today. I'll be back 7 p.m. tomorrow, right? Let me just run through this real quick. You deserve credit. Thank you, Jare Bhagavan. Women are only a reflection of their men. Thank you, Jare. Yes, India people have so many issues. Thank you, Anwuri. I am on the India table because I worked with them for a bit after college. Lies. We just don't know what goes on in other communities. Grass is always seems greener. Yeah. Do me a favor, grab the link to this video and share with everyone. Hopefully, you've been enlightened and educated as you can hear. Want to nitpicking Berumi in on a lobby, right? But I also need to go and rest. It's been, I think we did 3 hours. Thank you for all the panelists. Thank you to everybody that came on stage. I appreciate you for coming on stage to chop it up with me. I always appreciate you. Share this. Tell people that we're doing some good work here. We're trying to do some good work. Okay. Am I right?
Kind of right? No, I'm very right.
I always forget to play that. But thank you so much. I appreciate you. I will see you on the next one, and peace.